I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Hat crew is assembled. We are still waiting on CJ, but she's usually late because she has a couple of things to do. You know, life gets in the way, and that's awesome. But yeah, I also wanted to let you all know I am finally monetized, and it seems that I can finally take in revenue and whatnot.
Yay.
So I know I said a while back that I wouldn't monetize for a year, folks. I am clarifying. When I said that, I said I may not. Because the thing is, our economy sucks right now, as many people can attest. And, I am going to have to supplement my income a little bit. So, whatever I get, you do not have to feel obligated to send super chats. I am not asking for anybody to send super chats. However, if you do want to support the channel, feel free if you want. All the support, I am very much grateful for it. I'm not really in this for the money. I am doing this to be entertaining and to be informative. So that is basically my whole spiel with the monetization. And before we get started, I also want to say hello to the chat. Right now, it's only a few people in the chat that I'm seeing. Vanya and Skyhound, good to see you. So, also, before we get started, let's say hello to the Hat Crew. We got Nerd with a Cigar. How you doing?
Hello, it's good to be here. This is one of my favorite Marvel films, so I'm excited to talk about it.
Alrighty. Right, Kitty, how you doing?
Hello. I'm doing all right. It's been a bit of a strange weekend, I must admit, but you know what? I'm here relaxing. This is my second to last day before I have to go back to school, so you know.
Alrighty. And Ambassador, how you doing?
I'm super. Thank you for asking.
Alrighty. So, Avengers Infinity War, folks. This one has cameos, some inconsistencies. Previous directors are in this movie in one way or another. And as I mentioned on X, I'm also watching while you guys talk about it. Oh, nice, Skyhound. Good. No? So, also, I will be putting up different skins for the during the movie. So, as you guys can all see, Thanos is indeed here. Oh, my back itches. Sorry. So, yeah, we got Thanos here, and the movie begins with a very dark undertone. And Kevin Branagh, who was the director of Thor, the first one, is the voice of the distress call, where we learn the name of the Asgardian vessel, Statesman. And apparently, from what is not explained, Valkyrie took a bunch of Asgardians and shot out of there in an escape pod, or shot out of there in an escape craft. So most of the people on there who died were basically from Warworld, or Sakaar. Rather, not Warworld, that is DC. Whoops! And we then get the monologue of frickin' Ebony Maw, which, let me see here.
AKA Squidward, who we all hate.
Yep, this is Ebony Maw from the comics.
Squid.
I like this look better than I like this look better for Ebony Maw than the movie version that we got, because honestly, I just wasn't really feeling the bigger, or the I just wasn't feeling
my favorite. You know my favorite form of Ebony Maw? When he gets turned into freaking dust. That's my favorite form of Ebony Maw, because that means
Same.
I hate his
right.
He's a pasty, skinny ass wannabe telepathy that Professor Xavier would erase his brain in 10 seconds. Ooh,
yeah,
his
voice actor is very cool for it.
Also here reminds me of Big.
It reminds you of what?
He's a wannabe Professor X and Magneto.
No,
That's the thing,
because
though.
Magneto's actually cool.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
comics,
Magneto's actually cool. This guy is just an ass.
this guy doesn't have
Please, Lord.
psychic powers. In the comics, he is indeed a telekinetic, but he's not and he also does have an influential voice. Yes, so in a way, he's semi-psychic. He's influential, so to speak. But there's actually a different character who, in the Black Order, that has that actually has the more psychic powers that actually can rival Professor X. Now let's see.
Yeah. Well, I don't really
Yeah.
have an opinion one way or the other on the design, aside from the fact that this one has a better hairline.
Now everybody calls this guy in the movie Cull Obsidian, which is actually not his name. His name is Black Dwarf in the comics. Cull Obsidian is actually the name of the Black Order in which Thanos rules. And we also have Corvus Glaive. Now, this was the closest one that they had for the movie. This was indeed the closest thing, and he is notoriously hard to kill in the comics. Proxima Midnight, you could definitely see there is a very big difference here.
Because they were just super badass in the comics, and then they're introduced ever so briefly. Their powers aren't explained, and they're just kind of like minions that you're like, oh, all right, there's this guy. But
I mean,
This
they're
is the
pretty
one
tough
that's-
minions. I must admit, they kick
For
they
sure.
kick their butts. They kick their butts.
Yeah.
So.
But I don't
Well,
care
let's-
because it's like they don't introduce them long enough. That would be my only critique, is like they didn't introduce them long enough for me to give a crap about them.
I'm sorry.
I get that.
These are just
We could introduce them in like Guardians 1 or something. Like, I don't know.
Right.
And
Yeah,
that's
like
very
the
well-
collector, we have like a little bit of time to like get
I'll
interested
let,
in
I'll
him,
let
and
him
then
go.
there's
It's
nothing.
okay. I'll say my piece
And
in a
then-
minute.
And then sorry, and then these guys, they just show up, they're badass, and then you're like, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. The Black Order is just a knockoff version of the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse, which are far more impressive, far more interesting. And let's be honest, the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, not to mention Apocalypse on his own, could wipe the floor with all 5 of these little twigs.
Good,
Or
yeah,
one that
good
might
point
stand
about
half
her.
as. The only one
That
that would
is-
stand half a
That's
second
true.
is maybe Super Giant. Everybody, or not,
Ambassador
Super
just
Giant.
roasting the entire Black Order.
I know,
Well,
yeah. I was like, wow,
thing
mic
is-
drop on the Black Order.
The thing
They are
is, I
completely
do believe there was
pointless.
a comic where they actually did fight Apocalypse's forces.
Yeah, and they probably got their asses kicked. I mean,
No,
let's
they
be
got
honest here.
or they actually were extragalactic, where the Black Order, or where the Four Horsemen were extremely enhanced, yes, but they still got their asses kicked. This person here, Supergiant,
Yeah.
can enslave a planet with her mind.
Yeah, but let's be honest here. This bunch, if they actually went up against Apocalypse himself, he'd be like, "Oh, aren't you cute? Aren't you precious? I'm
Oh,
just
so
going
she's
to."
like baby, but with less effort.
She
Let's
makes
just be honest
her,
here.
But we also haven't seen like a decent live action Apocalypse either. You know, the best
I
Apocalypse
beg
we've
to
had was
differ. Thank
the
you very much. I
animated
thought
series.
Oscar Isaacs as Apocalypse
thought-
was actually rather good.
I actually did think he was pretty decent. Or
we
I'm
could
one of
talk
those people
about
that
this on
will-
another stream then, because we could go on about that for a
Anyway,
while.
let's get back
Yeah,
to
because
this.
I've actually
So-
I've already reviewed that movie.
And that's
but
my
let's-
obligatory Dragon Ball reference. So there you go.
Yes.
I mean, I have a lot of people on here. There we go. Loki is listening to freaking Ebony Maw, and then Thanos comes in and he's like, I know what it's like to lose, to feel so desperately to be right.
That you're right. But
All
you
right, finish
realize
it off.
that you aren't. All the same.
Yet to fail all the same.
All the same.
It's frightening.
Get out of there.
Turns the legs to jelly. And
Yeah,
I
that was
ask
in the
you to
trailers.
what end? I mean, when he comes in and he's like,
Oh,
Destiny
he's a-
arrives, and he's like, or should I say,
Right.
I
I have. He's got two already. Got two of the Infinity Stones.
No, he only has one. He has
Yeah,
the
he
Power
gets-
Stone.
He
Well,
gets the-
by the time of the
He's
end
got
of
the
the scene,
space stone.
Yeah,
he's
he
already got
gets
the
the second
space
one.
stone. He's already a badass. He's got that.
Yeah.
He's got that badass looking gauntlet he got from Nidavellir. Ha! Didn't think I could actually say the name of the place, could you? Nidavellir.
They actually screw it up in the film. Frickin' Thor's like, where we need to go is Nidavellir, and it's like, no, that's wrong. It's Nidavellir. But yeah. So
another great cameo by Peter Dinklage.
Oh. Yeah, and I actually love this scene because I love how Loki tries calling Thanos' bluff, and I'm thinking to myself, dude, he's not bluffing. He'll fucking blow your brother's head up like a goddamn melon, which he starts to. He's like, oh, I do. Kill away. Okay. He just starts freaking grinding the Power Stone into freaking Thor's head, and I'm thinking to myself, ouch. Like, I can't imagine the level of pain that man must be going through. It would probably kill a human. But you actually
there
see...
I'm not gonna lie.
Huh? Say again?
I was worried over there. I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw that, I was like, "Oh no," because
you see his face start to crack.
Yeah, right. You're like, "Oh no!" Like I had some flashbacks of Game of Thrones where
giving him a lobotomy.
Yeah, so I was like, "Oh no, here we go!" And I knew it couldn't be because this was part.
Sorry, you are cutting off.
Yeah, you're cutting out.
You're roboting badly.
Robotic.
Yeah, it's roboting badly, Kate.
Kate, you're roboting worse than with the voice actor that did the voice of Ebony Maw.
Am I back?
Oh my god.
Yes, now you're back.
Yes, you're back. Okay. All right.
Now what were you saying?
Oh, is it better?
Yeah.
Yep, we can hear you now.
Okay. Cool. I messed with my internet settings. Go ahead.
No, what were you saying? Because you were roboting very badly. You
Yes.
were worried for Thor, and that's what we got.
Okay. So I was worried for Thor because I knew this was part 1 of 2 of the end. So I was like, okay, they got to kill off somebody big. And then, Thor right away is like getting like you guys said, like a lobotomy, and I'm like, oh no, is this gonna be it? Oh no! And
I was wondering if Thor was gonna die too.
Clenching.
And then,
right? Yeah. No, like anytime anybody was in trouble.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Hey, here's the thing. Maybe Thor did die, and Thor: Love and Thunder was just a coma dream or something.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
He got knocked out from Thor: Love and Thunder.
It's
a coma dream. It ends with him waking up on the destroyed spaceship.
Yep. Now, a lot of people
didn't,
or a lot of people who may have skipped Black Panther, like I did. I didn't see it until after Infinity War.
You must have been confused then.
I was slightly confused about Black Panther's suit. That was it. Plus, I was wondering why the hell M'Baku was in this freaking movie. It's like, dude.
Were you wondering why Winter Soldier was there?
Oh, no. I knew he was from Captain America's Civil War. I knew that he was put in Wakanda.
Oh, yeah.
Because they actually helped him get rid of his...
Black Panther was a really good movie.
It was a decent
but I don't think
it was awesome.
Yeah, average movie.
I don't think
you're average.
Whoa. Whatever. Average or above average or poor, it did really well as far as box office went, and I don't think that they expected that going into Avengers because Black Panther's part in the movie was like so tiny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I do like how it's like we don't have the Tesseract. It was destroyed on Asgard, and I love the look on Loki's face. He's like, about that, and he just
all like so
I've got it, bro. I've got it, big brother.
It's like, you son of a bitch. And
I also like Loki's expression. It's like a mixture of like, well, about that, and like, wow, I screwed up.
Yeah, and it's like, I should have left that fucker on Asgard.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Even if he had, it would have made a difference. It's an Infinity Stone. It's
not. It would have like blasted off into space.
However, I think it would be more difficult for Thanos to get, to be honest.
Probably because he would have had to have waded through a lot of destruction, but he still would have.
Basically,
have
Asgard
gotten
was
to it.
turned into a freaking hellscape, basically. Like, so it's basically burning.
No, Asgard was completely atomized.
It's like a hellscape, basically through space.
There's no hellscape, right? It was
The foundations
vaporized
of
level.
Asgard could rebuild.
That's what vaporized means.
Yeah, it was
Did you
completely.
watch Star Wars?
Vaporized hellscape.
Boba Fett. I want them alive. No disintegrations. Disintegration
turned it
means
into
there's nothing left.
A vaporized hellscape.
Anyway, all right. Let's get back on track. Now. So I do like. He's like, or friggin' Loki's like, the sun will shine on us again. Your optimism is misplaced, Asgardian. And he's like, well, here's the thing. One, I'm not Asgardian, and for another, we have a Hulk. Now, a lot of people say that when the Hulk comes in to lay the beat down, and then Thanos just gives it right back, a lot of people are saying that he was using the Power Stone to enhance himself.
Nope.
That's a lie.
Nope,
they actually do explain.
No, that was just him.
The Russo brothers actually do explain. He doesn't need the Power Stone to take out the Hulk. He's just like, I'll just kick your ass. Now, if you pay close attention to how he is hitting the Hulk, how he is actually going throat,
like
ribs,
all of those,
kidneys,
hitting him in the balls,
like all of those,
He's going tactically against the Hulk. He first hits him in the throat, discombobulating him. He then hits him in the ribs, or in the kidneys, actually. So now you're going to have a hard time moving. Ribs, breathing, and all of that. He freaking turned the Hulk into basically a basic bitch.
He sure did.
Yeah.
He turned him into
very quickly bitch. Too.
I mean, let's be honest here. Even World Breaker Hulk would have a hard time against Thanos, and that's why
that was World Breaker Hulk. That essentially was World Breaker Hulk.
Not quite.
Because, well, all right, that's World War Hulk level at the time. World Breaker was when he got super enraged during the World War Hulk, where he actually split the planet. But I like, now if you pay attention, did any of you guys notice the scene when Heimdall sends him, where he looks to Thor, but just before he calls on the power of the Bifrost, did you notice that his eyes started glowing?
Yes, I did.
That was a nice little touch that they added there. And I did not know that he could actually call on the Bifrost himself, which is because we all see that the Bifrost is a technological marvel in Asgard.
He did say, like, I call upon this dark magic.
All fathers, let me call upon the dark magic one last time.
The dark magic. So basically he just needs to tap into the dark magic.
So now we know exactly how Thor got to Earth in Avengers. Heimdall sent his ass there. Or because we also heard Loki, it's like, how much dark energy did the All-Father use to muster you here? Yeah. Your precious Earth. But then Thanos just freaking kills Heimdall, and it's like, you're gonna die for that.
I liked him. I liked Loki repeating like a similar line from like Avengers. Just like it's just like, oh, we have a Hulk. It's like, it's the same thing.
Except in this case, the Hulk ain't gonna do jack except get his ass kicked.
Yeah,
and that really was a shock to a lot of people.
Right, because then you see right away.
Yeah, because he's one of the Avengers like heaviest hitters. So like that's just insane.
Yeah,
like that just puts Thanos on like an extreme power scale. Like,
that's only him without using his stone, like his stone.
Yeah,
that's him without the stones
and stuff, right? So
that's him without the stones. But what were you saying, Ambassador?
Well, essentially, Thanos turned the Hulk into a walking pile of guacamole.
He did.
And I can't help but laugh because I find I like the character of the Hulk, but I find the actor who plays him so insufferable. I enjoy the fact that Josh Brolin beat the ever-loving piss out of Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah,
I am so that put such a huge smile on my face. Hi everybody, I'm Mark Ruffalo. Shut the hell up, Mark. I'm Thanos, bitch.
Yep, Heimdall.
Oh my God.
Freaking yeah, Heimdall here.
Yeah.
It sucks that he was killed off, man. It's like, goddamn, dude. I actually like Idris Elba as Heimdall.
Everybody's
I like
Idris
him too.
Elba. It doesn't matter what he's in.
Yeah. So let me see where the heck Thor is. There he is. Now, they do have, or I have, they don't, this portrait here is not up to date to the movies because they ended the game in 2016. So this was basically his last outfit that they gave him, which was, the Age of Ultron one, where he didn't have the armor around his arms.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when freaking he's like, go ahead.
I was just gonna say you gotta give the lady something to look at. Everybody likes Chris Hemsworth arms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Now, when Thanos is removing his armor, the way that the directors describe it was that he was basically a monk on a holy mission, and now that he has this power, he no longer needs this or the armor.
Yep.
And which is basically true. He doesn't need the armor anymore. And I love how freaking he just crushes the damn Tesseract in his hand and then puts it on, or puts the Infinity Stone in the gauntlet. And suddenly there are 2 more stones on Earth. How does he know it? Either he is fed direct information from the stone, because when you have a certain combination of stones, you have omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence. With the Space Stone and the power, the Space Stone, he has omnipresence because he can be anywhere.
Yep.
But with the Mind Stone comes omniscience, and with the Reality Stone and a combination of other stones, he gets omnipotence. So
Which
the
is
3 omnis.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Like combo,
Yeah.
He's like he's stacked.
And I love how Loki's last stand, where he's like, you might need a guide. I do have a little experience in that arena. Yeah, if you consider failure experience. I consider experience.
You did not say it like that.
You did not
but he's like, I
Danny
consider
Thanos.
experience. And so he does the little mocking, or he does his little try to fool him and lull him with the whole pledge of loyalty. But the second I knew he was bullshitting was when he stopped and said, Odin's son, and looked to Thor. That told me immediately he's not switching teams. He's going to try to kill Thanos. And then it was just confirmed with the dagger. And, well, he got the jump on the Black Order because the Black Order didn't know what to expect, but Thanos was a lot quicker with that damn Infinity Gauntlet. Whips it right up and stops him with the
valiant attempt, but a futile one.
Yep. And then a lot of people thought that some debris out in the out in space was Loki looking in with his horn helmet at a fake Loki that Thanos is choking out. And I'm thinking to myself, no, that's just debris, man. But he actually snaps his neck crushes his neck after he is told he'll never be a god by Loki. And he then says, no resurrections this time. So it made perfectly clear that he resurrected Loki twice. Once at the end of Thor, when he was in an abyss and just out in space. And twice in Thor the Dark World, when he was stabbed by a curse. So, yeah, Thanos was coming for his ass, and he wasn't going to resurrect him another time. And then he blows up the ship, and it's like, oh, shit, dude.
I wouldn't if I was Thanos.
Yeah. And the next scene was freaking Bruce arriving, where actually in the comic book arc of this, it's the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. We know. Yep. Thanos is coming. Thanos is coming.
Yeah, and I love the who? But then we get Stark and Iron Man and Pepper, and he's talking about Morgan Stark, which turns out to be true, but not at that moment, you know. They actually get pregnant after he comes back from getting his ass whooped.
Yeah, but, that's just like a foreshadowing of, you know.
Yeah, it is a nice foreshadow. And I like it. It's like, hey, are you giving out tickets or something? And that's a callback to the marketing for Doctor Strange, especially when Ebony Maw gets with him. Your powers are quaint. You must be really popular with the children. And it's like, dude, he sent one of those kids into a fucking hell dimension because the kid told him he sucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, one thing about this movie, they don't get time to breathe. The pacing in this film has the bad guy showing up immediately. It's like, get your ass to Earth, get that fucking stone. And they only have enough to do a little bit of exposition, and that's when the frickin', or with a little bit of a back and forth between them. And this is Stark's endgame. This is where he's like, when he says, tell me his name again, Thanos. And he's like, this is it. What's our timeline? When he says, this is it, this is basically Tony telling you, this is what we have been preparing for. And we're not ready.
Yeah. Thanks to dumbass Captain America. Well, actually, no, it's the other way around. Strike that.
Actually, yeah, it is. Or
yeah, that's it.
If you look at the Sokovia Accords, of a legal standpoint, there's another YouTuber called Legal Eagle. He's a lawyer. He actually took a look at the Sokovia Accords. They're unconstitutional.
And they're stupid.
Yes, they are.
I'm sorry, but they are a stupid ass plot device.
They launch you, or they actually put a person into servitude.
You need something stupid to have a civil war.
Yes, you do. Now,
well, actually, in the comic book, it's actually better. It's a superhero registration or something kind of similar to the Mutant Registration Act, except it's for all the superheroes.
It's for all enhanced individuals, whether they be superheroes or mutants or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think Spider-Man was the linchpin that, because he was like, I don't know whose side to join.
Well, and then like Iron Man is kind of painted in a worse light in the comic books because he makes Spider-Man reveal his identity, and then somebody attacks and kills Aunt May, and so it's like
kills Captain America.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. And so we then get them attacking, and Strange uses the winds of Watum to calm the ship's debris throwing. And I like how they actually go to Spider-Man and shows the hair standing up on his arm when he gets the spider sense going off. Yep. And so we get the Stan Lee cameo. Mm-hmm. And yes, that is a trailer moment. And he's like, what's the matter? You guys never seen a spaceship before? This coming from the guy who just got back to Earth after talking to the Watchers.
Yep,
pretty much. They haven't seen a spaceship before. Well, maybe they have. Because if you think about
New York, that kind of thing.
9/11 didn't happen until after or until before, or 9/11 happened before Peter was born. So the attack on New York is actually Peter's and the Avengers and other kids. Their version of a 9/11 was the attack on New York from Avengers. So
there's also Thor: The Dark World.
Well, that happened in London.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm just talking in general, like in the Marvel.
Yeah. So who noticed the sash on Black Dwarf, or Collapsidian as they call them?
I did not notice
red and blue sash. That is actually from the comics, but it's not his. It's actually Captain Marvel's sash. The red and blue theme with the hint of gold. And
Honestly,
I do like it. He's like, Stonekeeper.
Yeah.
Does this shattering animal speak for you?
I like
So
how they
he-
just call him Stonekeeper, and it's like, shit.
Yeah, and he knows that it's or how did he know exactly who has the stone? That is the one thing they didn't freaking cover in this movie. How do they know where the stones are, and how they know which stones are who is wielding them? Especially when the time
they
stone
kind
is
of made
hidden.
him like ring wraiths like that, where they could like
Kinda,
sense
yeah.
where it was, and it's like,
Yeah.
bro, this isn't Lord of the
except the ring
Rings.
wraiths are
He
cool.
didn't like make the
Yeah.
ring. You know what I mean? Like this isn't
He didn't find the One Ring of Sorrow.
right.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, but honestly, like I thought basically like, you know, the space stone, while it's not really like omniscience, it's like what are you what?
That's a
He
one
has the
ring
one-
that I have on me. It's a black
He has a
Oh,
one ring.
one ring.
okay.
He has a replica of the One Ring or whatever.
I have 3 replicas of the One Ring. These 2 are also One Rings.
Okay.
I thought like maybe like this space, like I guess it's not explained, but I thought like the space stone like gave him like the locations, I guess.
That is basically what I was thinking, because as
Yeah.
soon as he has it, he's like, there are 2 more stones on Earth.
Yep.
And
Yeah, so like I was just like, oh, maybe it's like a beacon or something. It's like, okay, like here's this one, and there you go, my children, go.
and I do like, he's
Ugly
like,
ass
he
children.
exhausts me. He exhausts me.
Old
Bring me the
ass children.
stone. And the Hulk won't come out, so that was another thing that they had to explain away in a tour. Why didn't the Hulk come out? The Hulk wanted Bruce Banner to be a hero himself for once.
No.
Because everybody's like, is the Hulk afraid? Is the Hulk scared? Is the Hulk a
Isn't
pussy?
the Hulk
What's
afraid?
going on? Yeah, everybody's like, why isn't the Hulk coming out? Because he keeps on telling Banner, no! And it's like,
Yeah, I was
What
like,
do
did
you
he hit
mean,
the right
no?
pressure points to like?
I-
make him, you know.
I thought it was just because he was afraid. Is that the explanation they gave?
the explanation is that the Hulk was sick and tired of being Banner's
Used as a muscle.
crutch. Yeah, he's sick and tired of being the crutch. He wanted Banner to step up himself. And it's like,
That's stupid.
That's
Well,
kind of dumb.
not really,
but-
because he finally did in this movie, in fact.
Yeah, I know, but like that's dumb for the Hulk, not for Banner.
Yes.
Because like basically,
But, yeah.
I thought it's just because he got his ass beat. It's like, oh, it's like, no, I don't want to fight Thanos. I'm scared.
It's like, well, that was the going theory at the time, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like that.
pretty much.
That's what it feels like in the movie too. So it's like, I don't know. I think they just gave a dumb explanation for it.
Yeah.
That's my interpretation of the movie.
Then that's fine, right? And so then we have,
Yeah. What do you mean, no?
it's like, what do you mean? No!
He's acting like a
But-
petulant teenager.
He's
Mhm.
like, no,
And-
stand on your own 2 damn feet.
No,
I
I'm
really
here to
like-
play video games.
And I really like the power set of Ebony when he's fighting the wizards and Stark, because Stark blasts the car and he just sticks his hand up like this. And
Knife
it's like,
hand.
Yeah. And he also
Fair.
whips up a bunch of bricks, taps with his middle fingers, and then they're all just drills going for him, which was pretty cool. Now let me actually shut this down. We don't need that very much. But frickin' Cole Obsidian, or Black Dwarf, is going for Tony, and I like how Tony's nanosuit, that is supposed to be comparable to the Bleeding Edge from the comics, because his nanosuit in this is specifically for one reason. It was upgraded, or he upgraded to nanotech because of what happened in Civil War. What happened in Civil War, folks?
Well, his suit almost got compromised by a Winter Soldier for one thing.
Mhm.
Well, yes, that. But who got inside his suit?
Pepper.
Paralyzed.
No,
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man did.
I
Yep.
knew it was Ant-Man. I just wanted to say something.
Oh, you did a good job on it. But it's like, or I love that scene. He's like, "Oh, you're definitely gonna have to take this into the shop. Who's speaking? It's your conscience. We haven't talked in a while. I mean, Paul Rudd is great in that scene. So that is actually, yeah, that's the reason why he's upgraded to nanotech, because he's always planning. He doesn't want any weakness for his suits. So the nanotech.
He's like the Batman of that universe for his. He's like, oh, okay, here's a weakness.
Kind of, yeah.
Let's make another one.
Well, we need all these plans, all these upgrades, all these contingencies for stuff. So.
Exactly.
Well, let's be honest here. Death Battle has proved that Stark is superior both to Batman and to Lex Luthor.
Yep.
Damn.
Because he fucking mopped the
floor. I don't know about Batman, but...
Yep, he whipped Batman and he whipped Lex Luthor. The fight with Lex Luthor was a lot more satisfying.
Well, here's the thing. When it comes to when he fought Batman, Batman had no preparation. If Batman had preparation time, he would find a way to beat Stark.
I think if he's prepared, then it would be.
That's one of the things they said in the video.
Yeah, it's like give him like a day of preparation, he'll know how to beat Stark.
Yeah.
So we then see that he's sick and tired of dealing with the wizard, so he just goes with it when freaking Doctor Strange uses the sparkly whip thing on him. And I love it.
The Crimson Bands of Sidorak.
No, because the Crimson Bands are actually used later, and they're a lot thicker.
Yeah, but it's the same version.
It's similar, but it's slightly different, I'm guessing. But I love it. He's like, your powers are quaint. You must be popular with the children. And tries to grab it, so we get the Raiders of the Lost Ark tribute with the burnt hand. It's like, It's a basic spell, but quite unbreakable. Then I'll just take it off your corpse.
Yep.
You'll find removing a dead man's spell troublesome. I love that. He's like, you'll only wish you were dead. I mean, the writing and the dialogue in this movie is actually pretty decent for the most part. There are some parts that are downright heartbreaking, and we'll get to that later. But yeah, I love how this whole fight goes. And when he's like, there's the wizard, go save him. Or because Peter Parker's like, on it. And I love when they show Ebony Maw chasing after him with that little mini tornado that he rides. He just swings his hand back. He's like, or he doesn't even look. He's like, and smacks freaking Peter with a damn, whatchamacallit, road sign. It's like, not cool.
Like I said, I hate Ebony Maw. My favorite form of his when he gets turned to dust in the next movie.
Yeah.
Or Endgame. Because
actually, I liked him in. I liked another version of him when he gets all crackly out in space.
I just like him when he's dead.
Which is a funny thing when we get to that. But we then see that even they're like very much prepared for any contingency. So the ship locks in on the damn cloak really quick, or on Strange really quickly. So they don't really give them any sort of time to counter. Did anybody notice that in this movie? How the bad guys just are not giving anyone any time to breathe?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, because Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Kate. It's fine.
Ladies first.
It's just like this is their moment to shine. You know, this is the end game. Like they weren't messing around anymore. They're like, all right, I've come to do this. I've come to do this, and they start doing it. And why would you let up if you're winning? You know, like the enemy's still, or you know, the good guys are still trying to figure out what your plan is, where you're going to attack next, blah blah blah. And if you just keep hitting, and you're seeing, you know, win after win after win, why would you stop? You know?
Yeah. Well, it's not
like,
much.
Why give the good guys a moment to, you know?
It's basically a blitzkrieg.
It's not that much. It's not that dissimilar from the original Infinity Gauntlet storyline. I mean, honestly, I know a lot of people had an issue with the fact that they used a different title for the story that was being told, but at the same time, Infinity War is a different story in and of itself, but it does fit this particular arc, this particular story that's being told. So as a person who has both Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity War, I just don't have Infinity Crusade, at least not yet. I didn't have a major issue with the Russos changing the title of the story or using a different title for the story that was being told. I mean, in the original story, Thanos, he rimwrecks everybody at the jump. I mean, the snap happens way sooner than it does in this movie, but at the same time, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you look at it, Infinity Gauntlet is told both in Infinity War and Endgame and everything. It's just two separate movies.
Right.
And I'm not trying to jump ahead by any stretch, but the only moderate issue I have with Infinity War is they change Thanos' motivation. Now, it's not a bad motivation in terms of what they changed it to, where and everything compared to what it's like in the comic book. For those that have read the comic and his actual motivation is that the fact that he's in love with the cosmic entity known as Mistress Death or Lady Death. And here he's like, I'm doing this for the benefit of all humanity, not just because I'm in love with a cosmic entity that's been my best friend the majority of my life. So that for me it's a minor nitpick, but it's a nitpick and everything, and I don't generally get bogged down in those things unlike other people.
Yeah.
So, anyhow,
now that's actually a good point when you actually raise that point, because Thanos' motives, folks, caused such division in the real world. Because
oh my God, there were so many people getting mad about it.
Yeah, it's like Thanos was right. Thanos is like, how could you root for a villain? It's like, I'm not rooting for a villain. I'm just saying that he's right in certain ways. Like, this universe is finite. Its resources finite. I'm not saying that we need to commit genocide to frickin' balance the scales. I mean, he could have easily used the frickin' Infinity Stones to create more resources.
He could have created worlds upon worlds that were just nothing but a planet, nothing but crops, a planet of nothing but water, a planet of nothing but fuel, or whatever they use in the spaceships. He could have done that just as easily as going, oh yeah, I'm going to just eradicate half of life. But the thing is, that's what he does in the comic book. That's precisely what he does in Infinity Gauntlet. They just change why he does it. You don't have him being all moony over Mistress Death, because he builds this massive space throne, essentially. It's a monument to Mistress Death. He's like, from here we will witness as we rule over all of eternity forever, and I have the Infinity Gauntlet now.
Infinity.
And so,
nice.
Freaking, I also like how the nanotech for Stark actually is, as soon as he's saying it, it's automatically kicking in on his heads up. Like, give me a boost Friday. Before he even gets to boost, it shows the display of the booster appearing on his heads up.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
And then he's like, unlock 17. Up there, it already is. And then it shows the Iron Spider suit come out. And he's like, but you said save the wizard. It's like, dude, are you not paying attention to what's around you? You are up in space. And he's like, you're running out, or you're too high up, you're running out of air. Yeah, that makes sense. It's like, yeah, well,
he's probably just losing oxygen to his brain as he's going.
Yeah, so he can't think exactly. He's like, can't breathe.
He's not thinking clearly.
And so he's like, Mr. Stark, it smells like a new car in here. I'm like, cheesy, but okay. Send him home Friday.
I like that line.
It's just, wait a minute. It's just like it's a freaking parachute sending him down back there.
Send him home Friday.
Still gets on board.
Now,
he gets on
whatever
board
happened to Karen?
Donut.
Whatever happened to Karen?
Karen who?
The AI from his
Suit Karen.
Spidey suit? Suit Karen?
I don't know. Maybe she quit.
There's Friday, Edith, Karen. I guess they couldn't get Jennifer Connelly to come back. But,
no, they didn't get. But I don't care. It's a minute detail.
It's a nitpick, yeah, I know. But anyway, I do like how he's like, I should have stayed on the bus, and Stark's like, honey, we're gonna have to push back our 8:30 res. You're not on that ship. Yes, I'm sorry, honey. And
it's like, come back.
Yep. And Friday says, boss, we're losing her. Oh shit, I'm going too. Because he's out of range of the Stark satellites and out of range from his servers. So he's not able to hold on to Friday. He's got to do it on his own. And that's another reason why he lost.
I'm going to be honest. Like, that distance was pretty good to be for like Earth tech and stuff and going out into space. Like, and being on an alien spaceship. So,
yep.
It's a giant metal donut.
Yep. And
honestly, it looks like the Tron bikes.
No, the Tron bikes are way cooler than that piece of space trash.
Well, no,
I'm sorry, Thanos' ships are ugly, except for the Sanctuary 2. That thing that they were flying on was just, it was not smooth.
It's a flying donut.
You just
it's a flying onion ring. That's what it is.
There you go.
No, because
you know what? That's actually a little bit better. Because donuts don't have a flat. So
actually, yes, they do. Some of them.
Well, no, the hole is bigger in onion rings.
Exactly. There you go.
Riot,
point to Riot.
How would you know that?
She's had onion rings.
Yeah,
because I've seen onion rings.
I'm making a dirty joke.
I know.
She's not ready for that freaking ambassador. What the hell's wrong with you?
Aside from what the doctor did to me, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
What?
It's a long story. I'll tell you after we're done.
So then we're now introduced to the Guardians, and they run into Thor, and I love that because freaking Groot's doing his little puberty talking back. He's teenage. He's teenage Groot. Groot. Whoa, you got some acorns on you now. And
I loved
when they arrive. Yeah, when they arrive, he's like, or I love when freaking Thor just slams right into wipers, get it off. Freaking rocket.
He's like a space angel.
Yeah, and then they slam him down inside, and you see Rocket actually sniffing him. And it's like, and everybody's like, how is this dude still alive? This is not a dude. You're a dude. This is a man. Big, muscly man.
Yeah, Dave Bautista Drax. He was glorious in this.
Here's the thing.
They were just as funny with the Russos writing for him as they were James Gunn writing for him.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I like how the Russos directed Thor a lot better than Taika Waititi as well.
Correct.
Well, that's not hard. I'm sorry. Waititi lost me after Love and Thunder. I mean, there are parts of that movie I actually like, but at the same time, I can't bring myself to watch it again. Even Matt and Bastard, after we got done watching it on 4K.
Oh, believe I said the same thing. I saw Love and Thunder, and I'm like, I really like how they did the God Killer. What's his name?
Gore.
Yeah,
but he
Gore
didn't
the
have
God
enough
Killer.
Screen time. Yeah.
He didn't have enough screen time, but they did give him that horror quality.
Oh yeah,
which was great. But back to this.
Yeah, back to
back to this. They wake him up, and he's like, "Who the hell are you guys?" Now, I absolutely love the whole thing. Like, we learn about Thanos from Gamora, and he's like, "You seem to know an awful lot about her." Gamora's daughter, Thanos is like, "Oh shit, stepdaughter."
Duh. Did you forget?
Yeah.
Did you all forget that she was raised by Thanos?
Mm-hmm.
But then when they ask, because we can't go through all the, otherwise we'll be here forever. But he's like, we learned what happened, how he got the stone from Xandar when he attacked it last week. And it's like, so he went immediately for Xandar after Asgard was destroyed. That is when Thanos made his move.
Well, of course.
Because he's like, a planet just died, or 2 planets are dead. Maybe now it's time to make my move. And he just went to Xandar and slaughtered everybody, and apparently got the stone.
Power Stone.
Yeah. And then he's like, and then he took the Tesseract when he boarded my ship and killed half of my people. And it's like, yeah. And then when he snaps away another half of your people. So that's an that's a dick move. But then he's like, the Time Stone and the Time and Mind Stones are on Earth or with the Avengers. Who are the Avengers? Earth's mightiest superheroes. Like Kevin Bacon? He might be on the team. I don't know. I haven't been there in a while. It's like, what the fuck? And
was like, who the hell's Kevin Bacon? Why should I care?
And then he's like, or we need to go to nowhere. And why would he go to nowhere? Because the Reality Stone is there.
Stone's there.
And nobody knows where the Soul Stone is. Nobody's even heard any hint of it. Except that's when you notice Gamora's reaction. It's like, that bitch knows where the Soul Stone is. I mean, I saw it when I was seeing it in theaters. I'm like, she knows where the Soul Stone is. Huh.
Yep.
Okay. Now it's interesting. And he's like, where we need to go is Nidavellir. Or I'm like, that's a made-up word. All words are made up. He's not exactly wrong when he said that. He's not exactly wrong when he said that. But Nidavellir is actually the word. Yeah. And so Groot and Rocket go with Thor as they split up.
Tree and Rabbit.
Tree and Rabbit. And so then we get the scene with Vision and Wanda where they're having a romantic liaison in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Yes.
And I'm thinking to myself, when did Vision grow up?
Well, he does possess the Soul Stone, and he can control the molecular
Mind
structure of his
Stone.
body. Mind Stone,
Yeah.
sorry. He can control the molecular structure of his body because it is made of vibranium, so he is essentially a walking vibrator.
Oh my god, no, you did not just say that.
He did. He fucking did.
Yes, I did.
Well, with the power of his mind, he probably could make something grow bigger.
Bigger,
Down
smaller,
under.
little. Yeah.
Well,
But
Whatever
Wanda, the thing you have to remember, Wanda is rather petite, so maybe he's more conservative what she needs rather than of
There you
himself.
go.
Oh my god.
Medium size.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so just got a
Just
thingy from CS. She's going to be a little late. Husband's delayed at work. That's fine.
She's already late. We're almost an hour in.
Now, here's the thing: if Wanda is like the strongest character in all of the MCU at this point, how was she not able to read the warning from the Mind Stone? I mean, her powers are derived from the Mind Stone, so she should have been able to feel something too.
Unless the Black Order was able to mask it somehow, which is entirely possible.
It is.
Well, and here's the other thing.
Maybe it's only warning Vision and it's not showing Wanda.
Yeah,
And that's possible too.
because it's as if it's speaking to me.
Yep.
And then they go and
Run,
see
you
what's
idiots!
going on.
Run! Get back to your friends!
And then they see what's going on, and before they can even do anything, well, Corvus is there to stab right through him with his glaive. Now, the glaive is made of Uru, folks.
Yep.
His glaive is made of Uru metal, which is the same as the axe of Thor and the hammer Mjolnir.
Ooh,
However,
Uru.
Uru.
ooh.
Uru.
Not
Yeah.
Uru. There's an R in there.
I know. I'm
You
just
are
joking.
you. But anyway,
I'm just joking. My sense
I
of
know.
humor is
I call it the Australian metal. Because everybody said when they sing goodbye they say Uru. But yeah, he's able to stab into, or I love how he just starts digging into the freaking Mind Stone with the glaive. And you see that wicked grin on him, dude. It's like, dude, you now. There's a reason why Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive work together. They're husband and wife.
Yeah, they're bumping
Bet y'all
uglies.
didn't
I
know.
figured. Can you
Yeah.
imagine if those two ever procreated? They have the most hideous children in the entire galaxy.
I don't want to imagine him
Oh,
procreating.
and
I'm serious.
not just the galaxy, and like the whole like
Universe.
I mean,
Well, yes,
all of
Thanos'
it multiverse?
origin
Like,
story is
oh,
just like he's a
God.
really ugly baby.
Well, not to mention,
no,
So
Thanos' story is that he's actually a mutated Eternal.
yeah,
Or not Eternal,
A
Titan.
really
Titan.
ugly baby.
Yeah, he's a mutated Titan.
he's
Yeah,
a nutsack.
and
Anyway,
people didn't like him for being ugly.
now I also do like how Wanda is able to hold them off, which is nice. But Vision, or she starts to heal Vision, so it's like, why didn't you heal him all the way when you guys were or after you guys finally got your reprieve? Now, this also had one of the greatest reintros in a
You're
movie.
damn right.
When frickin' yeah, as I believe at this point it's Samaritan or whatever.
It might be, or Nomad.
No, yeah, that one. Because he's basically Nomad because he's given up the shield and the stripes. Because you can see how his suit is very much
decolorized.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I love how he just catches.
He's like, bitch, please.
Here's the thing, folks. She is extremely accurate. She doesn't miss. She is basically like Daredevil, but on a cosmic level. She doesn't miss. Ever. So when
she sucks.
Cap catches it, when Cap is like, or you see her react like, okay, this is new. And I do love how when Cap comes in, you just see that he is all business. He's not fucking around here. And that's when they get their asses kicked. And I love how you see when he you see Falcon shooting those mini things at Corvus, you also see Widow running in. Mm-hmm. Hey, Deej, good to see you.
I mean, the choreography is on point in this movie.
Yeah, they do a great job because then you see frickin' she actually uses Proxima's weapon against Corvus, which everybody thinks Corvus is going to die, and it's like, yeah, no.
Not yet.
No. You can't kill, or you know how hard it is to kill Corvus Glaive?
Maybe, probably.
Well, in this movie, they freaking nerf him, or they nerf him a lot because in the comics, he is extremely hard to kill. You could kill him, but he will freaking bounce right back, and he'd be like, "Yeah, gotcha, bitch."
Yeah,
right. And
super.
Yeah, they had to nerf him so that he'd be a little easier to fight, slightly easier to fight.
It's easy. Go for the head.
Yep, and so when they're like, "You'll never get the chance again," and they bust out of there. When I saw Corvus's glaive fly out of Captain's hand, that's because Corvus's glaive is always, or is basically very much, it's Uru. It can be called to him. As long as his glaive is near him, he can't die. You have to get the glaive away from him, or you got to kill him with it in this movie. So it's like, oh shit. And so they get on the jet. I thought we had a deal. Stay close, check in. It's like, we just wanted some time. Yeah, we haven't bumped uglies in a while. Fuckers. So where are we going, Cap? Home.
Where your asses should have been the first damn place where we could have kept you safe and you could still bump uglies. Just do it out in the jungle.
Yep. And so...
Just do it in your own room. We'll get you a room.
Yeah. So then we get Gamora's past and Quill's promised. Yep. Which is nice. It is very nice because you also see one of the behemoths or Leviathans coming in to slaughter her Xenadarians or whatever they're called, or Zephylarians or Syphilisians. I don't know. Give me the stones. I have to make a
Zen
snack.
Warbeerus.
Yeah, Zemavarians or whatever.
Rastakarico Phalapatorians.
What the fuck?
I have absolutely no idea what the hell that is.
Is that like a Jamaican Doctor Who
It's a
freaking
Doctor
alien
Who
species or some
reference.
shit?
Yep.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
that's what I
something-
thought.
Wow.
It sounds like something that come out Biden's mouth.
Yeah, probably. But anyway,
American
Nebarians.
described in one word.
Yeah, but anyway, Pete has to make a promise to kill Gamora, and we get the invisible Drax, who's not so invisible, but it's like, dude, how long have you been standing there? I've always been here. I've
It's like-
mastered
it's
the
like-
art of
He's
moving
not
so
allowed to
slow.
say that.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm moving so slowly.
Oh,
Okay.
Deej, shut up.
Right,
The only person
yeah.
who wrote nerd cards is me. You're a Deej, I'm a master.
But anyway,
I wonder how many it takes that got for like with Dave Bautista doing that, because I would have had a hard time keeping a straight face.
right.
Well, it's like the
Oh
scene
yeah,
in Mrs.
without
Doubtfire
breaking
where
for sure.
yeah, without
Yeah.
breaking, everything like looks
Yeah.
serious.
it's like the scene from Mrs. Doubtfire where Robin Williams is doing all the voices for the caseworker, who is the same actress who played Jim Carrey's secretary in Liar Liar. She was probably buzzed
Yep.
out. And they had to do half a dozen takes, so that might have had just as many, if not more.
So then we get, hi, Drax! Damn it! I love it. Damn it. So,
Yeah, or like Tommy Lee Jones trying to like strangle, like semi strangle a pud dog, trying to be serious interrogation.
yep. And so,
Men in Black.
let's see here.
Yep.
We then get the nowhere battle where where Thanos is there and he's interrogating the Collector. And he's like, everybody knows you would sell your your mother to get your hands on a stone, or if it would mean adding the slightest trinket to your pathetic little collection. And he's like, I told you, I sold it. Why would I lie? I imagine it's like breathing for you. He's like suicide. Oh, so you do understand. It's like, dude, did your trousers just twitch? That's disgusting. But
I've got to say it. Benicio del Toro's role in this movie, even though it was a cameo, was far better than his role in The Last Jedi, and that's not hard.
yeah,
At least this movie was directed by two directors who are competent, unlike that pudgy, foul-smelling little
yeah, okay, we get it.
pissant who's probably never felt the touch of a woman.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
there's a lot of hate
Master,
there, folks.
you're going.
Whoa, dude.
We are not unpacking that. We are not. Oh, somebody's here. Let me try to
Yes?
scroll down here. Yep, she's
That's
here.
Yay!
Hello.
How you doing, girl?
Like through the
finally
third of the
made
movie,
my-
I guess?
Yes, my delayed appearance. Yes. Sorry. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
A little choppy, but
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, you're a little
Okay.
muffled, but but we can still. I can
Okay,
understand
sorry.
what you're saying.
It's okay.
I
So
will say,
we're just
I
getting to
have
nowhere.
a new mic. Yeah.
Oh.
I've been listening for the last like 2 or 3 minutes when you're talking.
Oh shit! You've been back there for 2 to 3 minutes. I'm sorry.
Oh,
That's okay.
Now I feel bad.
Good. Feel
Shame.
bad. Yeah.
Shame.
So we're in nowhere, and I like, or it's
We
like,
are?
yeah, we are. So shut up. So Drax just is immediately in kill mode because he really wants to kill Thanos because of his wife and daughter. And I love how it's like, I'm not letting anybody get in my way. Sleep. It's like, "Doosh," and it's like, could you be any fucking louder? They'd revoke his library card for that. But anyway, all right, Mantis, you go left. Gamora, you go right. The other right. Now, when she goes after him and he snaps the sword and then she just uses the broken sword to stab him in the neck, it's like, that's a warrior. Because
yeah.
just because a sword is
Oh, for
snapped does not mean it is ineffective.
Correct.
That's right.
it is still kind of sharp, and I can still kill you with it.
Exactly.
That's true.
And
You
then
can
she
use the
uses
hilt
that.
if it's the right type of hilt.
And then she uses the very knife that he gave her as a child to stab him in the heart. And I love that. It's like, why? Why you? He plays it up, and she actually starts crying. She actually starts crying. Now, she has always said, I have always hated Thanos. Yet she still cares in some level because she was raised by him. So a lot of people are like, we don't understand why she says she hates this man so badly and whatnot. Yet she also was loyal to him to a point. She hated him, yes, deep down she always did, but she also cared for him to a degree. And I love that. Is that sadness I sense in you, daughter? In your heart, I knew you cared. And it's like reality can often be disappointing. And you see the collector even waving goodbye before he fades out.
Yeah, that was funny.
It was.
R.I.P. the collector.
A lot funnier than any scene that he did in the last chapter.
R.I.P.
Great role.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, great, brief, short role.
But this, but the bit where he's actually using the reality stone and testing it out and whatnot. I mean, he just used it on an eternal size or an eternal sized head, but or celestial sized head, and he sees Mantis and Drax coming at him. And he's like, blocks and ribbons, which is actually
Go ahead. Is a callback, an Easter egg to the Infinity Gauntlet comics, because he actually does that to a few characters.
Yep.
And
I love Peter. He's
you didn't know that, right? So you just hush.
Let her go, Grims. And it's like
I did look at some of the comics after I watched.
Nope, doesn't matter.
Anyway,
didn't read it. Doesn't matter.
So he's like, I will blow that nutsack right off your fucking face. And so she's like, not him. And he's like, well, daughter, you expect too much from. She's asked, didn't she? Do it. And so he actually. That's the thing. I did not know or think that Quill would actually do it. And when he does do it, well, remember reality stone bubbles, and he also turned the whole gun into bubbles too.
Yep.
So it's like, oh shit. So then he's like, I like him. Because he's like, well, okay, he actually went that step. He was willing to kill her. I like him. He can date you now. But notice that when he escapes, everything is back to normal, and Gamora's sword is in one piece.
Yep.
So it's like that was a very quick illusion. Mm-hmm. So that was actually pretty cool. So what did you guys, or CS, let's get your take in here since you've been away for a bit. How did you like that scene where on Nowhere where they went up against Thanos, because it's like that was quick and then we realized, oh shit, head or fake out.
It was okay.
Short and sweet, folks.
Sorry, yeah, after watching, I did watch like some of Phase 4. I think enough of Phase 4 that I'm like, oh, good, an actual villain that's competent and makes sense and has vulnerabilities and is rounded out. And I feel bad because I was just like, yeah, Thanos, woo. So.
Small correction, folks. Phase 4 is actually after the Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
Sorry. But
I think that's her point.
I was just saying.
Yeah.
Yes, after watching some of the stuff that's come out, it's like, all
right, never mind. My bad.
Yeah.
I thought you were accidentally misinterpreting.
They had such, they had such build up to Infinity War with Thanos that it was, he to do more nuanced stuff anyway, and it made sense. And there's what's really nice is that they connected a lot of the world building through him with the Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously, and then collecting the Time Stone and the Power Stone, and that's how they kind of managed to make it a more compelling story. So yes, there's by comps, like everything after that is like, you know,
Confusing.
I don't know.
There's been
It's
some
just so
drop off.
shallow.
Uneven. It's very uneven.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or like honestly, like like with you know, phase 1 through 3, like they obviously had a plan. You know, some movies weren't the
Yeah,
best,
they did.
whatever. But you know, it's like you could see where it was going. Phase 4, I'm just confused and I'm lost.
Yeah,
Phase
and
4
that's
gave
why
it to the
everybody's
bitches and
calling
they went
it.
Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, and it's like there's no direction. It's phase
Yeah.
bore, and
Exactly.
there's like they took the heart out of it. Like you can introduce new characters and we can like them, as you know, as evidenced by them introducing people in the middle of phase 3 or phase 2, and us enjoying the characters. But all of these new characters they introduced, it's just like, oh, the Force is female, and
Yeah.
now so is the MCU, and
Oh,
and there's a
fancy.
reason
I hate that
why.
phrase.
Yep.
Yeah, I hate it too,
Yeah.
but there's a reason why they're making it that way. Like,
Yeah, they're not even like
I
connecting
don't
any
call
of the
it.
movies.
Look,
really.
here's the thing. Look, here's the thing. You want to critique it? Okay, fine. I have no issues with critiquing it, but all these stupid little catchphrases and all these stupid little memes that these bigger idiot channels want to make, it's not constructive. It's asinine. It's childish.
Well,
You're not in high school anymore. Grow the
some
the
of
hell
them
up.
are doing it because hyping, because they know
Because
that
they're stupid.
gains attention.
Because
Yes,
they're
and I
because
agree.
they're brain damaged.
Blind hatred for, because folks, first and foremost, we're going to go here for a second. First and foremost,
Okay.
I am a reviewer. So when I am doing a review, I want to remain objective for my objective review. If you are going to be an entertainment commentator, you want to be as objective as you can, which means you're not, or if you're just going to do blind hatred on a property. So let me just divert here on or I just want to be just myself around this. Ahsoka. A lot of people are saying Ahsoka just blatantly sucks. And it's like, I can actually look at that from an objective stance and see that there's actually some decent acting here and there. There's actually some very bad acting here and there. However, you got to look at the positive and the negative, or the negative and the positive. You can't just freaking be a blind hater, because then you have no integrity. When we got into a small civil war again, folks. I'm not naming names. That's not my, yes, I know, pun intended. But we got into a small civil war recently, and it's like, you guys lack integrity if you are going to freaking just blindly hate on something simply because it's Disney Star Wars. I hate Disney Star Wars. Yeah, I can actually look at some of this shit and actually say, you know what? There is a little bit of entertainment value here. I'm willing to admit that, because on an objective standard, there is a little bit of quality there. I'm not saying it's great quality. I am simply saying there is some quality there. Now, you can then look at it from a subjective lens, which means you have bias, and then you can shit all over it. Fine. But at least have the integrity to say, this is our opinions. This isn't just fact. And yes, the whole MCU thing, yes, they have a lot of female stupid bullshit going on. And that is for one of the reasons why it has been driven into the ground. But they still do have their male lead characters, Thor, fucking Guardians of the Galaxy and shit. So the MCU doesn't really fucking fit, because even when they do another Avengers things, you still have all those male characters. And by the way, the new Avengers is going to have a male leading the fucking team.
Yeah,
so the MCU doesn't fucking work. I hate to break it to you all, the bigger channels included, who may be watching, it doesn't fucking work. It was clever the first time, as Sean Bird says, but it has grown stale. I'm sorry.
Get some new material if you're capable of it. If you're not so old and brain damaged that you don't know how to.
Well, I'm not going to go that far as to insult the people, or I am simply going to say, yes, you guys are basically just using it to get the freaking hate hype. I don't like blind hatred, because there's no integrity there. There's no objective value there. Have a little bit of objectivity, because yes, this movie is far from perfect. However, I enjoy it a lot more than I do Endgame. So we are now going to get back on
I
course
agree.
here.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
No,
I agree.
no,
This is
no.
much better
That was
movie than
me
I
needing to do that divergence. So
Oh no.
here we go.
I
So
will say I see the MCU stuff as like it's a symptom rather than the diagnosis. You know,
Yes.
like it's just bad writing.
I agree.
Because
exactly.
It's bad writing.
it's bad writing. It's
Yeah.
bad
So-
writing.
We then get Cap going back to Avengers Base and confronting Mr. Secretary, which is Ross,
Oh.
who they are going to
he got
win in
a
Captain
nice
America form.
promotion.
Yeah, he got Secretary of State, and I'm thinking, which was confirmed back in Civil War. And I'm thinking to myself, well, yeah, General to Secretary of State, even though you're still Hulk obsessed. Now, it's very much clear that General Ross is going to be Red Hulk in the new Captain America movie. I don't care about that. William Hurt is going to be the best General Ross. I mean,
It
I
kinda
did like
sucks.
Sam Elliott, but
It
Go
kind of
ahead.
sucks, like with the Mandarin, like the Red Hulk isn't gonna fight his nemesis.
I mean, exactly, because we need the Hulk to fight Red Hulk. Instead, they're putting him up against a non-super soldier Captain America. How the fuck do you expect me to believe that Falcon is going to win against the Red Hulk? The
Or
Red Hulk
Stranger.
laid out Banner the first time around, and it
Yep.
was so fucking easy.
Yep.
They're
So
probably
it's
gonna
like-
do something like a horse tranquilizer dart.
It would melt
Mm.
before it even got into his skin.
I know, but I was just saying, like, they're gonna do something.
yeah, I get it.
like that.
And yes. So,
Or Sam gets some sort of version of the super soldier serum. One of the two.
I mean, they would have to, but even then, this dude is
Or-
not as
Okay.
balanced as Steve. This dude is not as
Or-
balanced as Steve.
He's gonna transform into Falcon Hulk.
Yeah, there you go.
No.
Now,
Even better. Even better. General Ross is gonna fight Amelia Clark's character from Secret Invasion. I saw the clip
Yeah.
from that day.
Oh gosh,
I
no.
was laughing my ass off. I'm like, what
The
the
CGI
hell
was so
is
bad.
this?
I didn't
The
watch it at
CGI
all.
I didn't
I
see
didn't
that.
either,
What is
but
that?
I was like, what the hell are
He's the
these?
Super
Where are
Skrull.
the-
So
Oh,
Essentially
Amelia
has all the
Clark's-
powers of a million different
She
characters.
has like every. So Amelia
Yeah,
Clark
I know.
gets the powers of all of the Avengers and of Carol Danvers, and so she's having this
Oh.
fight scene, and
Yeah,
there's
I
this
know.
part where she like flexes her arm, and she has Drax's
turns into
arm,
Drax.
but the CGI is like really bad.
Oh,
And it's just funny. It's just
It's
become
I
like
saw
horrendous.
that screenshot with her with Drax's arm. That's
It's
who-
just
oh
it's
my
just from
God.
the fight scene. It's from the final fight scene where Amelia Clark
Yeah.
just goes like Super Saiyan with like everybody's stuff, but the
Yeah.
CGI
Oh
is bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
I saw that screenshot. I didn't know who it was though. Oh my God.
yeah.
Getting back into it, this is this was great writing here. I'm not asking for forgiveness, and I'm way past asking for permission. So if you wanna, so we're here to fight, and if you want to stand in our way, we'll fight you too. It is
Yeah.
a great line because this shows where Cap is in his
Yeah.
life right now.
He's done with everyone's bullshit.
Exactly.
Yes,
You're not wrong.
Yes. He
And
knows
it's like,
what's on
arrest
the
them.
line.
All over it. Yeah.
Evans was
Fucking
picked
super
up in
beings coming in here, and you expect me to arrest these guys? Yeah. By the way, this Rhodey is actually a Skrull. By the way, folks,
Oh, don't get me started on that bull crap.
Ugh.
they fucked
Yeah.
that up.
I know.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they
Rhodey was a
retconned
Skrull
it. They
from
retconned it.
Civil War.
They retconned him.
Yeah, they turned him into a Skrull. Especially when I saw that clip of him saying that he was going to carpet bomb a fucking country because some dude's giving him the stink eye. I'm like, yeah, that dude's a Skrull.
That's so weird.
But yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't like it. But I do like how he acts in the movies without him being a Skrull because I don't acknowledge Phase 4. So, or Phase 5 because I believe that's where they are.
When Rhodey is like, why don't we just go? Oh wait, no, that's the next movie. Sorry.
But yeah, it's like, geez, Rhodey, your talent for horseshit rivals my own. And I'm like, wait, you have a talent for horseshit, General? I mean, honestly, I I never saw a talent for horse shit with you. You were always straight and narrow.
Character development.
Yeah.
Right,
But,
right.
What's that?
So we then get the awkward reunion between Bruce and I forget her name.
Natasha.
Yeah,
Natasha.
Natasha.
Black
Natalie.
Widow.
Yeah, that one.
Scarlet.
Because she's a fucking Barbie blonde now, and it's like, what the fuck, woman?
Natasha
Well, there's a
Romanoff.
reason
Going
for
to
that. We all
hiding.
know what.
Yeah, she was in hiding. But yeah,
so there actually is a reason. So, and
yeah.
besides, let's be honest, blondes do have more fun. Maybe I should dye
Anyway.
my hair blonde.
Yeah, okay, Ken.
Sorry.
Anyway,
That's what you should do when we get to Black Widow.
Sorry, I have all my
You are
junk.
Ken
I'm not
doll.
a Ken doll.
but I didn't say you were Ken doll. So where's your mind going? Anyway,
Where's your mind going?
destroying the stone. They actually talk about having to destroy the stone, and we see that Wanda is like, yeah, and you with it. We're not having this conversation. Because they're basically realizing we may have to consider the possibility we're all not going to make it out of this. And Vision is willing to sacrifice himself. He's like, we need to destroy the stone. But everybody's like, we don't trade lives. Your mind is more than just a stone, but I can't remove it. Well, okay, go to Wakanda. So we get, I love the introduction to the Wakanda where they're bringing Bucky a new arm, and it's like, where's the fight? On its way. And because he had no problem using just one arm for a while, but with this new arm, which is vibranium,
Yep.
it's like he knows, oh shit, well, things are about to go down, you know?
Yep.
Time to put my game face on.
Yep. And so we then get to Strange and Ebony Maw and the microsurgery needles and aliens.
That honestly was painful. He's just
Yeah.
being poked in the skin. It's just like, oh.
Oh, it's more than just poking in the skin.
Well,
It's
I
also,
mean,
yeah.
Incisioning in the skin, I guess I should say.
Yeah. Because he's also channeling energy through them, or they were originally meant for microsurgery. And any one of them.
Being
clip.
shocked and stabbed at the same time.
And I love frickin' Stark. He's like, okay, I wonder, wait. And then the frickin' cloak comes up. Oh, you are one loyal piece of outerwear, aren't you? Yeah, speaking of loyal, oh shit, the kid's here. Like, I don't want to hear it, and now I have to hear it. Because he's like,
It's not my fault, Mr. Stark.
It's like, it's your fault, really. What'd you just say? I
It's
take
your
that back.
fault.
I mean, it's like, I don't want to hear it. And now I have to hear it. I mean, that is such a great line. It's like, this isn't going to the island. This isn't, or this is a one-way ticket. Don't tell me you thought this through. I did think this through. I didn't. You couldn't have possible. You can't be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man if there's no neighborhood. Okay, that didn't make a lot of sense. But you know what I'm trying to say? Actually, it does kind of make sense because if there's no neighborhood, you can't be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Yeah, it does make sense.
It does make sense. So he's like, okay, fine. There's your trouble. What do you got? He's in trouble. Okay. You ever see this really old movie, Aliens? Did you see the way the frickin' cloak reacts?
I know.
The cloak's like, the fuck? The cloak's like, did you just say really old?
You know, the funny thing is the fact that the cloak is aware of the movie Aliens. I love
Right?
that fact. That is so freaking meta. That is freaking meta. The fact that the cloak of levitation knows that the movie Alien and Aliens exists.
I wonder if one of the monks watched Aliens. With the
And
I
so
watched
that
it
was
the other night just for the hell of it.
And also, if you're paying attention to when Strange is starting to scream, he actually looks up and is seeing Stark come down, so he smiles a little bit and then sees him come down or looks back at him. And you actually hear Stark land. And he's like, you've saved nothing. Or saving his butt is more of a professional courtesy. You've saved nothing. Your powers are inconsequential compared to mine. It's like,
Blah, blah,
yeah,
blah,
but the kid's seen more
blah,
movies. Yeah. But it's like, yeah, but the kid's seen more movies. And his shoulder thing just comes up and so launches him out into space. And
Squidward.
you get the Wilhelm scream.
Bye, Squidward. Uh-oh.
Now, if you pay attention to his... Who did we lose?
Caitlin.
Oh shit. But well, she'll be back, folks. If you pay attention to the pose that he has, that is the same pose as the alien queen from Aliens.
Oh.
Or the same
true.
angles and shit of him going out into space is the same as the queen going out into space in
I didn't pay attention to that, so good eye.
in Aliens. Yeah. So it's a nice little thing, and so then we get the whole, if I have to choose between you and the kid and the time stone, I will not hesitate to let either of you die. Because we have to skip some dialogue, folks. Even as good as it is. But it's like, okay, good, we're straight. Good moral compass. And kid, you're an Avenger now. Now, this is a great moment for Peter Parker. That's like, oh my God, this is what I always wanted to be. Okay, just calm it down and just look on ahead like I'm an adult. You're not an adult.
I love the line. I know we don't have a lot of time. The exchange between Peter and Steven. It's like, hi, I'm Peter. He's like, hi, I'm Doctor Strange. Oh, we're using our superhero names. Okay, I'm
made-up names.
Yep. Okay, I'm
Spider-Man then. I'm Spider-Man then. Okay. So we then get to the next scene with Gamora and Thanos, where she's like, I hated that chair. And he's like, yeah, but I always thought you would sit in it one day. I mean, he's still trying to play a fatherly figure, and he's trying to let her know, it's like, look back at your plan now, or you were always going to bed hungry and scrounging for scraps. Or have you looked back at your planet now? The children born have known nothing but blue skies and full bellies. It's a paradise because you murdered half the planet. A small price to pay for salvation. Folks, as insane as it is, he isn't wrong. The less mouths you have, the more resources you have. It is a simple calculus.
Although honestly, like basically, it's a cycle, right? It really is. Like it'll just go back to being that same planet where Gamora was growing up on. And like probably not for many years, but still, like it's just like kind of like it's not a permanent solution. So I can see it from both perspectives. Yeah.
But by wiping out half the planet, you have literally wiped out half the need for those resources. So that you have actually made it so that the universe will tick on another few more centuries, possibly even millennia, depending on the planet, really. And so he's like, that's why I sent you to find the Soul Stone. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Oh, daughter, you did disappoint me, but not because you didn't find it. It's because you did. And you lied. Now, he's then torturing Nebula. And I like how they showed Nebula, you're looking at her from this angle, and then as they turn, you see that she's basically been ripped apart.
Yep.
And so when she's like, I swear to you on my life, I never found the Soul Stone. Now, we then see Nebula's memory file. I'm wondering if any of you really noticed this, because a lot of people miss it, and it's a digital screw-up. When he's like, you're strong, me. You're generous, me. Now, when he walks behind her, you can actually see him through Gamora. You can actually see him through Gamora when he's walking back of her, meaning she was placed in that scene. And it's like she's kind of incorporeal, or her form is incorporeal in that shot. So if you go back to that shot and look at it, you will see that you can actually see Thanos in back of her through her. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's a screw up. And I only saw this when I saw it on high definition 4K, but you can also see it in standard definition as well. And it's like, but I never taught you to lie, and that's why you're so bad at it, which is such a great line. He's like, now, where is the Soul Stone? And so, torture a person long enough, the compassionate one will give in, just like Loki did. Vormir. The stone is on Vormir. Show me. So then
Yep.
we learned that Thor knows Groot's language because we're back with the god, the rabbit, and the tree. And
I love how he says it's an elective on Asgard.
yeah, it's an elective language, the Groot language. And he's like, Tree, just pour the cup out into space and go in the cup again. You speak, Groot. Yeah, it was an elective on Asgard. Or they taught it on Asgard. It was an elective, meaning you had the choice of whether to learn it or something else. Kind of like we do in high schools. So
I guess it's a fairly easy language to learn because there's only 3.
yeah. Well, it really is, but you got to understand the inflection and yada yada.
Yeah. You basically just have to understand like the tone and like stuff like that, like the way the words.
And how the hell does, or it's like everybody's seen a twig. I'm Groot. It's like I'm Groot. You'll know when we get there. And so I love how he's like, okay, time to be a captain. So, dead brother, huh? Yeah, that could be annoying. Oh, he's been dead before. The fuck? And that slight little reaction.
Yeah, it's just like kind of like if he had like visible eyebrows, he would like be like, huh?
He's like, and your sister and your dad both dead. You got a ma? Stabbed or killed by a dark elf. And he's like,
honestly, I just feel like so bad for Thor in this movie.
And he's like, best friend, stabbed through the heart. And it's like, okay, Thor literally lost everything.
Yeah, like he went through like so much brutal stuff. No wonder he became an alcoholic and then.
Well, that was because of or something totally a lot more. I mean, you think you lost everything until you lose half the universe because you didn't go for the head. But anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yes.
He's like, are you ready for this particular murder mission? Absolutely. You know, rage, anger really focuses the mind. I mean, this is Thanos we're talking about. This is the strongest he is. Well, he's never fought me. Yes, he has. He's never fought me twice. And I'm getting new hammer. Don't forget. Oh, that'd be some hammer. He's like,
oh yeah.
And we also learned that Thor is 1,500 years old.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so yeah, he's 1,500. That's cool. And it's like, and well, I got not. Or he's like, well, and if you're not up to it, well, what more do I have to lose? I got a lot. Personally, I could lose a lot. Well, if you're gonna kill that crap sack, you're gonna need 2 eyes. What's this? What do you think it is? He's like, or I made a bet with somebody on Catraxia, and he's like, and he gave you his eye. No, he gave me 100 units. I went into his bedroom later that night and stole his eye. And so he's like, thank you, sweet rabbit. And
I love how Rocket needed to be very specific.
Yeah. And so when he's putting it in and you see freaking Groot, he's just like looking over like that, like a freaking teenager. He'd be like, oh my God, he's going to stick it in his eye. He's like, oh, I would have washed that. The only way I could sneak it out of Contraxia was up my ass. And that's when the thing started. And you see Groot go like,
yeah.
So it's like, oh shit. Good thing Asgardians can't die from infections.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So
and then Thor says it's like, I don't think it works. It looks all dark.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think it works. Everything's all dark. Yeah, it ain't the eye. So we learn that Nidavelir's gone out. The star's gone out. And we get introduced to the biggest character in the current MCU, who is played by the smallest actor in the MCU by the name of Peter Dinklage.
We love Peter Dinklage.
Now,
I
do think that Peter Dinklage is a real fucking asshole in
I
some
like
things,
his work,
but in his work, exactly, his work is really well. Now, we are going to do a roundtable on this one. Where the heck did she go? She's not back yet. We will see what's going on. Yeah, I'm going to check to see if there's a Kate. But so we get to Nidavellir, and he's like, "You said Thanos had a gauntlet, yeah? Right? Yeah. Did it look anything like that? I am Groot. Get back to the pod. Well, Eitri starts coming in and wrecking people's shit, and his hands are made of stone or made of uru or something.
Yeah.
But actually, they're made of
sad.
stone because they're actually made of no. I'm willing to bet that Thanos actually poured uru over his hands
Which makes me
because
very sad.
he didn't have the stones yet. So yeah, I'm willing to bet he actually poured uru over his hands. He's like, "Your life is yours, but your hands are mine."
That is interesting.
So it is really interesting to think about it. It's like, what happened to his hands? Were they turned into stone? What? No. Chances are, Thanos tortured his ass. And we have to learn. He's like, you're going to have to ignite the heart of a dying star in order to relight the forge. And he's like, this is our plan. We're going to hit him with a brick. It's a mold, a king's weapon. Does it have a name? Stormbreaker. And so I'm thinking to myself, the fuck you didn't. Stormbreaker belongs to Beta Ray Bill, for those of you who don't know.
And the weapon also looks fairly similar, so.
It's fairly similar. It is an axe on one side and a hammer on the other side, but it is not as long.
Yeah. I mean, just like the general shape of it. Right?
Yeah.
I know the handles.
Yeah, but still, the fact that it's it's part uru, part Grudu. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's part Groot and Uru. So I love
Grudu.
I love the weapon design in this. It's very cool.
And so we get them. He's like, Rabbit, fire up the pod. And then we get to Nebula escaping and the arrival on Titan and the Guardians of the Galaxy versus the Avengers. Well, that was actually a lot of people say that because they talked about aliens earlier, the blaster that Tony puts up against Drax looks like a queen or looks like an alien. And I'm thinking to myself, no, that could just be a high powered cannon.
Yep.
But it does kind of look like an alien, if you think about it. It does kind of look like a queen head. Slightly, but not really. But it's like, or I'm going to ask you this one time. Where's Gamora? I'll ask you. All right, I'll do you one better. Who's Gamora? I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
How is Gamora?
And I'll do you all one better. What is Gamora?
I love, you know what, when I was like going to like a daycare, like in between school and whatnot, waiting for my parents to pick me up, like that was just like the running joke, not even from this movie, just like how is this? What is this? Who is this? It's like we just freaking probably annoyed the counselors to know because we were doing that like with like all objects.
Yeah, I also like freaking.
Oh yeah, did you know that that Why is Gamora was ad-libbed?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. I'm like, wow, that's
They're like, we did not expect him to say this, but it totally fit his character.
Yeah, it totally works.
And it's like, let me ask you this one time. It's like, are you calling him a cop? Because one time is a name for a cop, folks.
Yep.
And he's like,
Yes?
What yes. One time,
yes,
or Popo, 5-0, one time, pigs, people we don't like. No, I'm just kidding. That's Fast 5. But anyway,
yep.
Okay.
So he's like, what master do you serve? What master do I serve? What am I supposed to say? Jesus? You're from Earth. I'm not from Earth. I'm from Missouri. Yeah, that's on Earth, dipshit. What are you hassling us for? So you're not with Thanos?
Honestly, best exchange in the entire movie.
It really is. It kind of really is. From a comedy perspective.
I remember seeing the YouTube clip on there. It's like I'm not, and then someone commented, I'm not from Earth. I'm from Missouri. It is the most Missouri thing ever to say.
Right.
I'm not from Earth. I'm from Indiana. Indiana's on Earth.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'm
So-
from Kentucky.
And that's what
He's
you're
on
like
Earth
from
too.
Wisconsin.
Or you're from Georgia like CS.
I'm not from Earth. I'm from California.
Okay, that was
That
a
is
cue for
different.
her, but I'm guessing she's
That is a
busy.
different planet.
It's okay.
No, it's just different here.
Yeah. So we then see they're all planning the thing, and they talk about Footloose and trying to come up with a plan to save the universe. And we see Strange doing his time mojo.
Honestly, it looked like he
And-
was having a seizure.
I love that part.
Yeah, it really does. He's like,
I'm like, ooh, what the fudge is that?
and it's like, hi. You're good. You're back. Hi. What was that? I went forward in time to view alternate futures of the coming, or possible futures of the coming conflict. How many did you see? 14,605,000. How many did we win? Now, when you see him looking at Tony when he says 1, he is literally looking at a dead man. He knows that one future, and he knows that Tony is dead in that future.
Yep.
So, because we've all seen Endgame, we all know where it's going, but it's like the reason why he looks so hesitant and whatnot. He knows that they have to lose in order to win.
Yep.
And that is such powerful acting there by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Well, that's
Because it's like-
Batch's boss.
Oh yeah, he is very good in this movie. Like, dang.
He's good in everything he
still-
does.
I still wish they'd let him keep his British accent. So
Well,
Yeah,
except that Doctor Strange is not British.
Yeah, Stephen Strange isn't British, so
Yeah.
He's
it wouldn't
American.
fit.
he's a
Yep.
Yank.
Yep. So we get to Vormir and an introduction to a character that we haven't seen since Phase 1.
Yep.
And it
Cosmic
wasn't
Red
even
Skull.
played by Hugo Weaving.
Loki's mother. No.
That was a good one, Ryan. Why'd you
That
mute?
was a good one. That
That
was a good one.
That was a good one. Why did you mute? That was good. Loki's mother.
That was good. That was good. That was good.
Yeah, Loki's
So-
mother. If she was a trainee and had this early version of the super soldier serum.
All right. So we see that. We see that.
I am with
What's her
that.
name? Red Skull is like, hello, or Thanos, son of Lars, and Gamora, daughter of Thanos. And I'm thinking to myself, Lars is his father, yes.
Yep, that's true.
Now, was it his father that tried to kill him, or his mother that tried to kill him?
It was his mother.
Yeah,
Mother.
his mother tried smothering
His
him
mother
or some
went.
shit.
His mother went crazy, and because
And
she was
tried
so
to
freaked out
smother
by his
him.
appearance.
Because
Yeah.
he was a really ugly baby.
Yeah,
But here's the
he was a
thing.
purple nutsack.
Titan. But here's the crazy thing. Titan in the comics is actually the moon around Saturn. It isn't a far off distant alien planet, but
Yeah.
they changed it, which is okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with changes as long as they're warranted.
Yeah. So
it's
then
just
we
one.
see that it's indeed the Red Skull, and I love that. It's like how long have you been here? It's like, or how do you know about the Soul Stone? I too once sought the stones, even held one in my hand, but it cast me out and stranded me here to guard over a treasure I cannot or I can never possess. So
I mean,
basically,
that's a fitting punishment for him.
yeah, it's
For his
like
greedy butt.
because when the Tesseract banished him, it read him. Or the stones are sentient.
Yeah.
Yep.
They
They
are
got a
sentient.
conscience. Yeah, like
So
a
when
They all
he
have
picked
a-
it up, sorry, what were you saying?
I was just going to say that each of the Infinity Stones does contain a portion of the cosmic beings that forge them, so they are somewhat sentient. That's
Yeah.
all.
So when he was holding the stone is like, "You are not worthy of me. Get
You're
out!"
not worthy. Go away.
And it basically kicked his ass to the outer branches of Yggdrasil, where Vormir stands, or where Vormir is, because when you see the space open up, you actually can see Yggdrasil. to the side, that nebula was Yggdrasil, the giant or the giant World Tree Nebula. So the outer branches is where Vormir resides, which is then later retconned as the center of all celestial existence. And it's like, shut up, bitch. But anyway, man, this scene is powerful because we learn that it's like, what does it want? Or tell me what it needs. In order to get the stone, you must lose that which you love. And Thanos is realizing, fuck, I don't want to do this, but I have no choice. And freaking Gamora's all celebrating. She's like, because you love you love nothing. You love no one. And he turns around, and a lot of people miss this. He's actually saying no. He's actually saying no.
Yeah.
Or quietly, he's like, no. And she's like, really? Tears? They're not for him. And that's when she realizes, oh, fuck, I'm fucked. This isn't love. It's like,
and in probably the worst way possible, she realizes that Thanos.
Yeah, it's like,
even
Thanos
if it's
loves you like a daughter.
Well, even if it's his own sick and twisted way.
Because she does say, it's like, this isn't love. And he's like, or it's like, he loves you like a daughter. He doesn't love you like that. But he's like, I ignored my destiny once already, and I cannot do that again, even for you. And so she tries to kill herself. Doesn't work.
And then he's
because, I'm sorry, little one. And so the pain in his face as he's dragging her and then throws her over, and then the look of shock on his face when she is falling says it all. He really did love her like a daughter. And it's twisted what he did, taking her and shit, but
killing her family.
He did grow to love her. Yeah.
Yep.
And so
I remember. Sorry, I remember in the movie theater, like that scene was actually just complete silence. Everyone was just like absolutely stunned, basically. At
what did you think
being
of the series?
Thrown off by Thanos.
Yeah.
Oh, so I actually thought this was pretty poignant, and this speaks to like good character development. Is that Thanos has a legitimate weakness in his love for Gamora, and this is like his great sacrifice as in the hero of his twisted kind of perception of the hero's journey.
Yeah.
So it was actually pretty. I mean, it was very well done. I thought that the timing was good. The whole back and forth and everything, and then the gradual. I still don't actually know what Red Skull was doing there, other than it's like we need a character to explain stuff. What can we do? But
it's a good way of bringing him back, though.
Yes.
It could have been done worse. So.
Oh yeah. But then they also have to explain the awkwardness of the after events of Endgame. But we'll get to that in the next, or when we get to Endgame, folks, because we got 2 more movies before that.
Yep.
And or if you pay close attention, you don't hear the splat, obviously. But Gamora has jumped from far higher and landed on her feet. So, yeah. Why did she not just land on her feet? But
I'm wondering if it was just not from like freaking sheer shock, I guess.
Probably because she is screaming as she's falling.
Yeah, also down. She gets like grabbed by the neck and like yeeted off pretty much. Arm.
He grabbed her arm and just
arm and yeeted her off. So I'm like, sometimes like you can't land on your feet, but only if you're actually thinking clearly, to be honest.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
Now, also, if you look at him and then he suddenly closes his eyes, that's basically telling the audience that's when she splat.
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't want to see, not even in his peripheral, the the finality of what happened.
Yeah, her base here dying.
Her death.
So, yeah.
And then we see him in a lake way far away from the
cliff.
cliff or the temple, and it's like, oh, I got a new shiny stone. All right.
Yeah, they're next. What did it cost? Everything.
Yeah, which it comes later, yeah. So then we get the arrival in Wakanda, and Shuri is looking at the Soul Stone, and it's like, the structure is polymorphic. Yeah, we had to attach each thing non-sequent. Why didn't you just reprogram the synapses to work collectively? And I love Vision. He's like, looking up at frickin' Bruce like, yeah, why didn't you, asshole? Because we didn't think of it? I'm sure you did your best. Well, yeah, I mean, he is a genius, but she is also a greater genius.
Well, people have different life experiences that can lead you to different conclusions. So.
Mm-hmm. And also, they had to do it very quickly because the body was eroding during the Age of Ultron. So I like how they're like, can you get it? Or yes, but there's over 2 trillion connections here. One misalignment can cause a lot of problems. It'll take some time. How much time? As long as you can give me. Okay, well, here's the thing. We're not going to give you any time because we're coming up in the atmosphere right now.
Yep.
Mother shit. And it's like, son of a bitch, those guys are quick. And I love how they send one directly to the center of Wakanda. And as it's falling, you just see boom. And I'm like, wow.
I mean, they tried.
They tried. And they zoomed in straight on his freaking position. And it's like, yeah, we're going to crush you, and then we're going to take the stone. And it's like, yeah, God, I love this place. Bucky's like, God, I love this place. And it's like, yeah, don't celebrate yet. We got more incoming outside of the dome. So it's like 5 or 6 of them land outside, and it's the Outriders. So it's like, okay, let's go to war. Evacuate the city, engage all defenses, and get this man a shield.
Yeah, I love that one.
I would have liked it if he had his other shield, like get him a round shield that he can throw like a frisbee.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
instead
honestly,
they give him panther shields.
Those shields were cool.
Yes, they were.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit those were cool. So we then get the invasion, and before we get to that, we get the building of Stormbreaker and taking the pain of being sun-cooked because, well, the iris closed because the mechanism got crippled. And when that thing really starts up, and I love it when he's whipping around Rocket, and Rocket's just screaming like a bitch. He's like, "Ah!" He's like, fire the engines! So when he's like, that's Nidavellir. And then you just see the kid in a candy shop look on Rocket's face when he sees the lit star.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, yeah. And he's like, it's like, damn it, what's damn it? Or the mechanism's crippled. Without it being open, I can't heat the metal. How long does it need to be open? A few minutes, maybe more. Why? I'm gonna hold it open. That's suicide. So is fighting Thanos without that axe. So it's like, oh shit, dude, he had to get cooked. And
yeah, that looked painful.
Yeah,
you're taking on solar radiation, concentrated, going through you.
Yeah. Also, I like the line that he said like beforehand. It's like, it's. Yeah. I think it was just like, it'll kill you. It's like
he's like, it'll kill you only if I die. Yeah, that's what killing you means.
It has the people only die when they are killed.
Now, the only reason why he did survive that long is because he called on strength from the Allfathers. Now, notice it worked for Heimdall. He's like, Allfathers, let the dark magic flow through me one last time. Which means that there is a higher existence that allows them to interact with those who call upon them. So it's
Kinda
like
like
all fathers give me strength.
Yeah, just like his father and his grandfather bore, and probably
Yep.
all the other kings of Asgard before that.
Yes.
So
So, CS, do you think, or do you agree with that
Yes.
theory? That
That he was
calling
like
upon
calling
all
for
fathers
his
allowed
father?
him to live long enough to take that heat from the sun.
I mean, it's maybe. I mean, a lot of people call out to like higher powers to save themselves
Mhm.
when they're in trouble. So I don't know if I would call it that as the deciding factor. I don't know. I'm cool with either way though.
All right. So then,
I kind of want to take the route of like Thor didn't call out to anybody, so I'm willing to just say, you know what, he's that taking the
he's
son of a
that
gun.
strong, huh?
He's
Yeah.
that strong. He's that cool. Like I was
All
like,
right. And I like
It's
how
kinda nice.
when he finally gives,
In
Go ahead.
Thor's journey, he so like in the beginning of Thor's journey, he was so like narcissistic and self-involved and
yeah. Uh-oh.
self-reliant stuff. So the idea that he's called out for
Oops.
help from his fathers, especially like I said in the beginning of his journey, he was at such odds with his father at times. So it's kind of nice to see him acknowledging that he needs help and that he's determined to do this because it's the right thing to do still. And but he knows that he's not going to make it without some assistance and
Yeah.
he had some assistance with the Guardians too to kind of like further back this up.
Yeah, like you said, it does work both ways. So up for
Yeah.
interpretation, I think.
Yeah, and that's like
All right.
either way it can work out really nicely. So this is like Kirk versus Picard type debates,
All right. So then we get to well, Ambassador, or you agreed basically, yes?
well, yeah, of course. I mean, obviously his Asgardian physiology played a part in him being able to take on that much cosmic radiation from a sun, for heaven's sake. And eventually, once they are able to forge Stormbreaker, it does instantaneously heal him because, as giant Peter Dinklage said,
He needs the axe.
he needs the axe.
It's
so he can
Peter
survive.
Dinklage magic.
And when I saw Groot's looking at him, because when freaking Thor flew in there, he smacked his head pretty freaking good too. It's like, oh shit!
Oh yeah, he's got like
how
brain
the hell are you alive from that? But it's like, Tree, help me find the handle, and Tree's like, he's dying. Okay, time to step up,
handle.
and he just turns his arm into the handle and just right off.
I mean, that was pretty cool of Groot, who's been acting kind
Yes,
of
it
like
was.
a little jerk.
Yeah, he's been a real fucking asshole, but then he actually shows it's like, I like this guy. I don't want to see him die.
Yeah,
Because
it's like,
remember,
he does
this
care.
guy
He's
speaks
not
his
just a
language.
Cool guy all the
Yeah.
time.
Well,
So
the thing you have to
Groot-
remember about the thing you have to remember about Groot's species is they aren't assholes. They are, for the most part, very benevolent creatures. So, yes, he's going through his pubertish phase right now, but that doesn't make him
Photosynthesis pays.
Don't correct me, child.
Anyway.
Even though he's going through his pubertish phase, it doesn't mean that he's just a complete asshole. He's like, oh yeah, screw this guy. I'm just not going to help him at all. No.
Oh yeah, I know. It's just like it's like with any. I don't know. If there are alien species, I'm gonna bet like teenagers are the exact same way. They want to say they're too cool for school. When it comes down to the wire, most of the time they come through.
Oh, there you go. And I really, watching that scene, I remember in the theaters, I actually teared up a little bit because it's like, oh my god, dude, he's finally stepping up. And then I love how we see him, or his hand just start to reach out for it. And it's like, okay, the handle is that handle is serving as a good handle. So it is complete. And the fight in Wakanda, we didn't really cover it too much, but the Outriders come out and, they're killing themselves going in until they finally open the barrier. But once they start getting overwhelmed is when the best fucking scene in the movie happens. It's like
me, Thanos.
I mean, when it's like, oh my god, what's about to happen? And then I'm like,
oh, you guys are so screwed.
Yeah, freaking Stormbreaker just starts flying out, taking care of business, and it's like,
that was awesome.
Names.
And it's like the swell of the Avengers theme comes in, and I'm like, dude, I just got so much freaking goosebumps from that scene.
Yep. Who didn't?
And it's like,
unless
holy
you're just dead inside
shit,
and don't have any, don't.
Yeah, that's like an applause-worthy whooping and hollering moment. Like,
and then freaking Bruce is like, oh, you guys are so screwed now. Now, if you look at Proxima, she's like, oh shit, didn't we kill him? But if you look at freaking Black Dwarf, he's pissed. He's like, bring it on, motherfucker. I'm ready for this.
No, you ain't. Because you're about to get mowed down like a bitch.
And then freaking Thor just shows it all what's for. He's like, bring me Thanos. And just brings the hammer down. And it's like, holy shit. He took out the whole fucking army pretty much.
Yeah.
And I love the look of freaking Black Panther. He's like, okay, who's this motherfucker?
Well, not only that, the fact that it's Wanda and Okoye and Black Widow to take out Proxima when she's when Wanda takes control of those giant buzzsaws out of the freaking ground and just grinds Corvus and Proxima, and then she's like, "Yeah, you my bitch now, you ugly ET looking."
Yeah,
I can't say the rest of it.
I get it.
I get
we know what you mean, but here's
you
the
look
thing.
like ET's asshole.
A lot of people are like, how could the Bifrost get through the vibranium shield? And then it's like,
it's the Bifrost.
It's the Bifrost. It can get through anywhere. Yeah.
That's what she said.
So, let me get down there. So the tide is indeed now, we basically see that the tide is turning. So we then get to the battle on Titan. And I like the little back and forth between Strange and Thanos, where Thanos uses the reality stone. He's like, Titan was like most planets. Or a lot of mouths, not enough to go around. Or too many mouths, not enough to go around. And when we faced extinction, I offered a solution. Genocide. But random, dispassionate, fair to rich and poor alike. So, yeah. And they called me a madman, and what I predicted came to pass. Congratulations, you're a prophet. I'm a survivor who wants to murder trillions. Well, with all 6 stones, I could simply snap my fingers, and they would all cease to exist. I call that mercy. And here's the thing. We know that is not the case. They don't just cease to exist. They feel it. They die.
Oh, yeah. We see it.
And it's like, yeah, you didn't think that, or you didn't think that through, you piece of shit. But it's like, I think you'll find that, or he then tells him, he's like, the greatest or the hardest choices require the strongest wills. It's a true statement, folks. The hardest choices require the strongest wills.
That's what she said.
See, yes. That was as good as mine.
Good one there, girl. Good one there.
That was as good as mine. Good job, CS.
I've been watching some of the deleted scenes of The Office on YouTube lately, and I can tell.
So we then see, I think you'll find that our will is equal to yours. And he's like, our? And then he looks up. Well, Iron Man's going to drop the ball or I don't know, something on him. But it's like, too late. Power Stone, Reality Stone, turn them into some sort of alien bats.
Yep.
And I'm thinking to myself, interesting.
He has an amusing sense of humor, I'm gonna admit. But because he turns stuff into the kind of like the most whimsical things. Like it's just like, yeah, I turned your gun and your bullets to bubbles. I turned this thing into bats.
Thing you have to remember, he is known as the Mad Titan, and what is another word for mad if not just very dark humor?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And he was also very mad too there, because it's like when he blows the thing up, he's like,
mad.
So then we see frickin' Peter sling him in the eye with a web, and he's like kicking him, and he's like, or everybody's just trying to go after him.
Yeah, I mean they're really trying here. Like they use like more than 2 brain cells.
Oh yeah, and so when he knocks everybody away, frickin' Stark just goes full blown missile barrage on him. It's like, okay, I'm gonna take your fire, and I'll see you one flamethrower. And everybody's just, then frickin' Nebula just comes crashing into him. And I'm thinking to myself, nice. Yep. But then there's also, it's like, magic, more magic, magic with a kick, magic with a bullshit. Insect. No, arachnid. But close. And also Peter Quill with the whole boom.
Yeah, through the portal thing.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, that's a lightning storm coming where I'm at.
Oh, you got a storm out at your house?
Yep, thunder.
Well, thunder from down under. Nice.
Yep.
Thunder.
From the middle.
Anyways, now we're going to get to the meat of it. They actually do get him put under by Mantis.
Yep.
And they almost get it off, and everybody blames Quill.
It is his fault.
Yes, it is his fucking fault. Objectively,
it's
yes,
his fault.
Is his fault.
No, there's no objective. It's his fault. He was an idiot.
Can you blame him?
Yes.
He lost the only woman he loved besides his mother.
I don't care.
Besides that pink lady.
You're saying you wouldn't have done the same thing?
Nope.
I can't blame Peter, even though I realize that
easily he was a moron.
Even though I realize that yes, he shouldn't have. I understand why.
I understand why. He's still an idiot, and yes, I would still blame him, and I do happily. And I'm glad he got temporarily turned to ash.
Oh my god!
All right, CS. Would you have done it, or would you have pulled a Quill?
No. There's a time and a place for justice. So
he wasn't thinking of justice.
Somebody just cut off
I would have kicked him in the knee.
I would kick him. I mean,
that's the thing. What she just said was the smartest thing. Don't engage. We almost got this off. It's like, dude, don't you have a super like lightsaber kind of big old freaking blade that you wield against him after he wakes back up? But it's like, just use that and slice the fucking arm off. I mean, I'm thinking to myself.
Yeah, why is Peter having to do more effort? Peter Parker and do more effort.
Almost got it. It's coming. And then he wakes up and it's like, pulls it, and it's like, yeah, fuck off.
I understand why Peter did it. And you know what? I honestly, that's a level of maturity. Like the rest of the people there, they did not blame him for 1 second because this was a freaking crazy villain they were going up against. So.
Well, he also, again, he killed the love of that man's life. It's like, I had to. No, you didn't. Well, you don't, but you also learn that he is in anguish. He mourns. And that's all Nebula needed to hear. And it's like, Nebula, shut up. Fuck.
So we could really pin this on Nebula.
It is both Nebula and freaking Quill's fault, folks. Because she freaking said, or she freaking pointed out that Gamora was dead. And it's like, you son of a bitch, woman.
Although I understand, Yeah, although I do understand it. I really do. Like, honestly, I can't predict how I'd act if, it's like, oh yeah, like this guy killed the love of my life. Like, what the fudge am I?
Then I disarm him with the most powerful weapon in the universe, and then I beat the air living piss out of him, and then I turn him to dust with the same gauntlet that he was just wearing.
Nobody would be thinking straight at that moment, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if you the love of your life you just learned had been murdered by this man, you're not going to think straight. I don't care who you say or who you are. You're not going to think straight.
Sure would.
But anyway,
first I disarm you, then I.
But let's move on. Yeah.
First I disarm you, then I make you pay.
The thing with this is that
agree to disagree.
Like you have like denial, and like you can keep denial going and stuff, and it's not like she had there was a body as like proof. So he could have held it together just fine. This is just kind of like, this thing needs to happen, so we're gonna make it happen, and here we go. So.
All right. So we then see that Stark goes up against him, and then it's like, okay. And I just love how he just rips his arm like this. And then it's like, oh, shit. He basically just throws a moon at Stark, which I love the line coming later.
Yeah.
So then we cut back to Wakanda, and that's when Wanda takes the field because they start sending in the drills and shit. And Proxima is dead, but as soon as Wanda takes the field, Corvus is somehow inside of fucking, or somehow in, I don't know how he got in there.
Plot hole.
Yeah. How did he get in there?
Where?
Corvus got into the lab to go after Vision.
Oh. Yeah, that was weird. Because they were coming in through a certain section. Like, that's all that Black Panther would permit to be shut down. So, I don't know. Yeah.
So it does make one wonder. Did he sneak in with the Outriders and then just avoid everyone? No. Somebody would have detected him, seen him. It's like...
Honestly, like, he's very noticeable. I don't know how he could come in... Like, unless he can turn invisible.
I mean, he can fade in and out. He can actually fade away and fade back in, which is something from the comics.
So, like, is it shown in the movie?
No.
Yeah.
He's just in there and just kind of just steps into the light, and everybody goes right after him, but he slaughters all of them, and that's when Vision goes after him.
Yeah.
And it's like the Hulk.
I agree.
Yeah. So then... Hulkbuster Banner goes after to help him because, well, both Cull Obsidian or Black Dwarf and Corvus are going after him. And he's like, no. You guys, this ain't going to be like New York, pals. This thing already kicked the crap out of the Hulk. Well, okay, Black Dwarf will take him out. And it's like, okay, Hulk, I know you like to show up at the last second, but this is like the last on the last second. Come on, Hulk. And it's like, arm ripped off. It's like, okay, Hulk, no. Oh, screw you, you big green asshole. I'll do it myself. It's like, that's what he wanted you to do this entire time. And he actually does do a good job. I will give him this. He does do a good job until he gets knocked out. But then he kills Black Dwarf by bringing the arm up, and it's like, see ya. That was a good scene.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we then see that Corvus stabs into Vision.
Again.
And he's like, I thought you were a formidable machine, but you're dying like any man. And it's like, dude, yikes. Now, originally, this is straight from the Russo's mouth. This was when Captain America runs in, this was where you would first see Cap in the entire movie. That was their plan, to have Cap show up at the last freaking minute of the film to stop Corvus. And I'm thinking to myself, no.
Yeah, I'm glad they kind of didn't go with that. That would just be like it's
I'm
supposed
glad
to be
they didn't do that.
Avengers, all of them.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, no, that would have just not made sense.
Yeah.
And so we then see Proxima gets killed after going after the ladies.
All right,
And-
blue lady.
And Corvus is killed with his own glaive, thanks to Vision.
Mhm.
And then we get to the Spidey roundup and Doctor Strange versus Thanos. This was great because it's like
yeah.
he's bringing out his entire entourage except for the Time Stone because, well, he doesn't want to use the Time Stone.
They should have.
He should have, but he didn't.
I can
Because he
kind of
knew-
understand why, because technically,
Yeah.
like if you open it, then it's when it would be vulnerable.
Exactly. And all it would take is a space stone to pull that sucker right out.
Yeah, basically, like, and
Possibly.
then this spell would have been useless. So
hmm
possibly, yeah.
And I do like what he does because he uses the space and the reality stone to pull the landscape toward him in that moment when he grabs him. But I do also like how he does the multi-arm Strange and then just breaks them all into a bunch of them. Now, if you notice, he uses the power and the soul stone where he goes like this
To figure out who's who. Yeah.
and to figure out basically who's who. And you almost see Strange's soul leave him, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
He did Shadow Clone Jutsu, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough.
I was going to say something similar to that, yeah. Got rid of all of his shadow Stranges. But
Shadow Strange Jutsu.
yeah, there you go. And so he's like, "You're full of tricks, wizard, but you didn't use your greatest weapon." A
The
fake.
sexy Jutsu.
And so we then see Stark come in after he knocks out Strange. "You throw another moon at me, and I'm going to lose it." I'm thinking to myself, best line in the entire movie.
Just
Best line
about.
in the entire movie. "You throw another moon at me, and I'm going to lose it. Stark, you know me? I do. You're not the only one cursed with knowledge. My only curse is you." Now, when he says Stark, everybody's like, how does he know him? Because he was watching Earth for a long time. He knew that this is the man who beat the Chitauri. So it's like, yeah, this is the dude that destroyed my entire army single-handedly. He's going to pay attention to Stark. And so, yeah, that's how he knows Stark, folks. And, well, Stark does a great assault on him and actually scores one right here. And he's like, all that for a drop of blood, which is, if you all know, very important.
Yeah.
Because if you go back all the way to phase 1, if you can make gold bleed, people will cease to believe in him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, all that for a drop of blood? Yeah, and now I know I can kill you.
Yep.
You're just flesh and blood like everyone else.
Yep.
You just got a really shiny glove.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Pretty jewelry.
I do like how he literally just pulls the helmet right off and it just crumbles after it's removed. And Stark is using his entire arsenal and
Yeah.
sacrificing armor for weaponry. So when he's losing his helmet, he just keeps the helmet off. He just uses what's left up here for his repulsors. Okay, he just smacked them off. His legs come up and he punches up. Well, okay, that's blocked. Comes down for the arm blade, misses, rips, and stabs. And I'm like, oh shit. When that happens, I'm like, oh damn, dude. I did not expect that to happen. So this is the greatest, or another good line. It's like, you have my respect, Stark. When I'm done, half of humanity will still be alive. I hope they remember you. It's like,
Dang.
Pretty sure they will.
Yeah,
But that's when the Bleecker Street magician gave up the store. What were you going to say, CS?
oh, I said they'll blame him for it, for not
Yeah.
stopping. So I'm sure they will.
Yeah. Now, if you pay attention to when he gets the stone, when he goes like this, you see there's a star in between his fingers. He literally hid the time stone in a star, folks, which is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he gives it up, and it's not as much of a juice because it's just time powers that you're getting. He's like, 1 to go. And, well, that's when Quill decides to wake up and start just blasting his shit, but it's too late. Why would you do that? We're in the end game now. And it's like, oh, he dropped the end game line. And I'm thinking, yeah, they dropped it during Age of Ultron. Yeah. And everybody's like, did you have the name Endgame planned since Infinity War? We had the name Endgame planned since Ultron.
Yeah.
And it works too.
Yep.
Yes,
that
it
does work.
is.
What were you saying?
Oh, they didn't make the name public until after Infinity War came out.
Exactly. And everybody's like, well, that's probably due to what they, or Doctor Strange. It's like, no, it was because of fucking Stark. But anyway,
Isn't
so
Comic name too, like one of the.
I don't know. You'd have to ask Ambassador.
What is it?
That's the name of like the comic too, isn't it?
The
No.
Endgame.
No. There's a chapter in Infinity Gauntlet that is called Endgame, but the name of the entire story is the Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh, yes,
Right.
that's. I'm sorry.
All right, so we then see that the tide is turns on Wakanda, where Thor's literally taking out ships as they try to escape, and the Outriders are running back into the ship. They're like, "Fuck this, we're out." This dude is like slaughtering all of us.
And I'm
But,
sorry I didn't visit. Because you're ugly,
yeah.
you deserve to die. If you're ugly, you deserve to die.
Yeah, the weird xenomorph alien babies.
Yeah.
If
And
you're an
so,
ugly alien, you deserve to die.
When Thanos starts coming, or through the portal, or when he's just before he arrives, it gets really silent, and everybody's like, "What the hell?" And you get that last screech of the stone. It's like, he's here. Everybody on me, because we got incoming. And he comes through, and it's like, Cap, that's him.
Well, we're dead.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, you.
Yes, the rest of the
work
stones
you away.
now.
Because this is Thanos just no longer giving a shit. This is Thanos. It's like, my prize is in sight. I'm a great. We lost CS. I'm the great white going for the fish. Or swat you aside, put you in a rock. And during this time, Wanda is being convinced by Vision to end his life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh shit. So she doesn't want to because she loves him too much. And it's like, it isn't fair, but only you can do this. And it really isn't fair. I mean, her life has been a fucking tragedy if you think about it.
Yep.
Her parents, her brother, and now the one she loves. Very much similar to Thor, except she becomes evil later. But anyway, so while she's killing Vision, everybody else is trying to buy as much or as many seconds as possible. So it's like War Machine's just entire arsenal isn't doing shit to him. And Vibranium Spear from Okoye isn't going to do shit. And apparently rocks are enough to make Black Widow lay down. And I like how Groot actually tries going roots on him. That was pretty cool. But Cap, when Cap just grabs the gauntlet, and you can actually see Thanos start to strain a little bit. Did any of you guys notice that?
Oh,
Where he's
yeah.
like, trying to push him down a little bit, and you see Cap is holding him. He's like, okay, I could eat, or all right, so that's how strong you are. Pull aside, boom, fucking lays out Cap. I love, or it's like, because that's when freaking Chris Evans was starting to become an asshole in real life, and it's like, yep, knock that fucker out. You know? And so then Wanda's like, oh shit, nobody else. Boom! So she starts laying out Thanos, but Thanos.
I gotta admit, that's impressive. She's actually holding back a 5 stone.
Yeah.
With one arm.
And he's dragging himself forward with his space stone shield up, while she's still freaking blasting Vision. Now, and she eventually succeeds, and we're like, oh, all right, good. Oh, wait, fuck. Because when I saw that, it's like, yeah, it's like when I saw that, I'm like, holy shit, they might actually. Oh, no. Oh, shit.
Yeah, that was just like, oh my god.
And I'm like,
right,
oh,
he has
wait.
the time stone.
Fuck, he has the time stone, that's right. And he's like, I understand, child, more than you can ever know. You could never. Today, or I've lost more than you could ever know, but now is no time to mourn. Now, there's no time at all. Now, if you pay attention to this scene, when he smacks aside Wanda, he's already holding Vision. So then when she goes flying, he reaches down and grabs him, and it's like, wait, weren't you already holding him? So it's a bad continuity there. Bad. But anyway, pops the mind zit on his head, and that's the end of Vision. And it's like, oh shit, dude, yeah, he totally ripped that fucker right out. And
Yeah.
Vision goes, well, pale, ghost white, so to speak. And
Gray,
it's
actually.
like, yeah, gray. And I'm thinking to myself, oh fuck, that's a permanent death for Vision. He's never coming back. And well, now Thanos has all 6. And he's getting juiced up when Thor comes in and tosses an axe into his chest, even when all 5 or 6 stones are blasting against that axe.
I mean, I gotta admit, Thor's got some balls. It's just like, I don't care. I'm trying to kill.
It's like, oh, there you are, you motherfucker. You're dead. I mean, he came in. I love that. When he comes in, he's like, oh, boom. It's like, oh, shit. So he's like, okay, fuck you. Doesn't work. So, yeah, it's like, I told you, you die for that. Now, I'm going to admit, folks, I saw that scene before I saw it in theaters. And I'm like, what would he die? What? I don't understand why he's saying that.
Well, that's why you don't watch movies in reverse.
Exactly. And so it's like, die for what? What did he do? So he's like, you should have gone for the head. Then he snaps, and it's like, no! I have made that into a few different gifs. One is a normal gift. One is cure for, starts with a P, and deviants that like.
I like that.
Deviants that like kids.
We get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then another one I made another one, cure for prison overcrowding.
Yeah,
it works.
Too.
Yep.
Yes.
I remember there was one. It was like,
go ahead.
Thanos gets the Infinity Stones, and then he says, "All of you become girls."
That would be hilarious.
And then he turns the male Avengers into what? To anime girls.
Yeah.
I laughed at that. I was like, "Wow, that's hilarious."
I could think of one. I could think of one. I just would need to make it. It would still work even today.
All right. And so then we get he's in the Soul Stone with Gamora, and Gamora's a child. So it's like, did you do it? Yes. What did it cost?
Everything.
Everything.
There's the meme. Okay.
Yep. And
here's the funny thing. Like I said, I have the trade paperback of Infinity Gauntlet, and that moment takes place, like I said, like midway through the story, not the very end.
Yeah.
But in the comic, all you see is the people fade away. I honestly think them changing from everybody fading away, from everybody turning to dust when he snaps, was actually a better adaptation from the comic to the movie, because it's much more impactful, especially
emotional impact for everyone, like dissolving, and panicking,
especially with Peter and with Stark. He's like, I don't feel so good. Your heart sinks.
I cried.
We will get there.
This is a freaking kid, and you see Groot. You see Groot reaching for Rocket, and Rocket's like, I can't do anything.
Bro, I remember what's that general lady's name? I don't remember her name. Okoye, yeah, like Okoye, like Black Panther's reach for it's like, come on, it's no time, and then he disappears, and then she's just like,
yeah, and now, but if you they actually, the Russo brothers came out and translated what Groot said before he died, and 3 words translate into 1 word in this case: Dad.
Aww.
So when he was dying,
that makes it even sadder. No.
Yeah. So when he's dying, he literally calls Rocket Dad. So can you imagine the terror in a child calling out for their father before they pass? I mean, that really freaking hits. I mean, it's like, oh, damn. And then when we get to this part where Peter's slowly going, that shows how strong Peter is.
Yeah.
Because it's his spider sense that's keeping him alive for as long as he did.
As it can.
His spider, and the reason why he's freaking out is because his spider sense is basically screaming at him, danger, 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 danger.
Yeah.
But it's a danger he can't fight against. So that would terrify a person.
Yeah.
There's a danger around that is unavoidable, and I can't stop it.
Like someone like slowly having a heart attack or something. I don't know.
And so when he's saying, I don't want to go, Mr. Stark, I'm sorry. And then he says, I'm sorry. And then he dusts. It's like, oh, shit. And
I like freaking cried. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
I cried rewatching it. I'm like, Jesus.
And then you have Strange. It's like, Tony, there was no other way. And then he freaking dusts. And also you have freaking Nebula, like, you did it. But notice that when this is all happening, no music. And that was one of the most brilliant bits.
Yes.
There was no freaking music because it is the strict horror. It is the silent horror that is just very impactful.
It leaves you in that moment, and there have been times.
And now I had like tears in my eyes because you just said what Groot apparently said. So
yeah, because it's like, and then everybody you see Wakandans running around, ashing out, and everybody's looking.
Like Rhodey was looking for Sam, and then he does.
And Sam was right in front of him when he dusted.
And then
Then it's like, what is going on? What is happening? And everybody's realizing we just lost.
Yep.
Oh God. And it is when Stormbreaker fell out of Thanos' chest, did any of you notice the kind of like a bell dinging sound?
No.
That when it hits the ground, it's like a bell. That is basically like the Undertaker's bell, and the Undertaker is coming.
Yeah.
Essentially is
honestly,
a nice symbolic gesture there.
It was lost in the cinematic shuffle, but
yeah.
I didn't notice it.
But yeah, next time you watch it, just listen for it. I mean, because it falls and it's like, dong, and it's like, oh shit.
We also call that the death knell for the Avengers
And how many of y'all noticed that it's all the original Avengers that live?
That survive. Yep.
Yep.
Well, they did that deliberately.
Yeah.
So.
Not to mention, the one or when Wanda died, it's like, yeah, he would definitely make sure she died because that she was freaking holding him back. So
yeah, it's like if I were to snap one particular person, okay, this redhead who held me back at 5 stones.
Dust thou art and dust thou return. Nice biblical symbolism. Yep.
Yes.
RR, good to see you.
Yeah, that's what either the priest or the pastor says at every Ash Wednesday service.
Yep. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
No.
Dust thou art,
dust thou shall return.
Mm-hmm.
It's what they say. It's what the priest or pastor says when they put the ashes on your forehead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we get Thanos on his farm with his armor somehow not destroyed from the ship that blew up with Thor on it.
He probably had transported. It's a scarecrow. That's actually I don't know if either one of you know this.
It's from the comic.
It is. It's from. It's not from Infinity Gauntlet, if I remember correctly. It's from Infinity War because at one point during Infinity War, it's a different storyline altogether. They do go. I think it's Adam Warlock as several other heroes go to Thanos for aid against Warlock's shadow self, the Magnus or Magnus. Magnus.
Yeah, Magnus is his evil side.
Yeah, is his shadow self or his evil self, and you see Thanos' armor and him dressed in civilian clothes. And granted, he's not a farmer. He's just he has a scientific observatory or whatever on a distant world. But that's a nice Easter egg for those of us that know it. But the change of him being a farmer rather than the other in the comic, it still works.
Yeah,
I'll have to go back. I'll have to go back and look at the end of Infinity Gauntlet because that shot that panel might be there too of the armor on the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
So,
and we then get to the post-credit scene where they're talking about incoming over Wakanda, and I'm thinking to myself, if the dust is happening now, why the hell are you guys getting that information kind of late? Don't you think, for S.H.I.E.L.D.? But when you see that helicopter spinning out, somebody did a clever cut with the Incredibles. Because there is a scene in the Incredibles where Frozone is looking for his super suit. And he sees a spinning helicopter. It's like,
somebody did that.
Where's my super suit?
Oh my god!
And it's like, oh shit, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, because Samuel L. Jackson did the voice of Frozone in The Incredibles and Incredibles 2. I still haven't watched The Incredibles 2. I need to because I love the first one.
It's okay.
The first one is so good. The first one is so damn good. Great voice cast. I know it's a different movie, and we're trying to wrap this up.
But anyway, but somebody did that, and
was good.
Yeah, and I lost my shit laughing. But when I saw this movie in theaters, I'm like, oh shit, because he hits the button just before he gets dusted, and he's gonna say motherfucker, and it's like motherfucker.
Yep.
It's like. Yeah, no swearing.
Yeah, it's like Rocket being cut off when he was about to say ass.
Yeah, and so when I saw the Captain Marvel outfit or the Captain Marvel insignia on the pager, I'm thinking, oh shit, they're bringing in the big gun.
Yep.
Because this was before everybody hated Brie Larson and whatnot. This was before anybody even knew that fucking Brie Larson was in the film or going to be in the next one or.
You mean all the people online who are a bunch of assholes hate Brie Larson and everybody else is like, yeah, she's okay.
Honestly,
I don't like her.
I wanted not Carol Danvers.
Look,
I
you
like
cannot
her as
like
Miss
her
Marvel.
politics, but she isn't. I don't believe she's not a bad person.
It's not a matter of politics. It's a matter of her misandry, really.
It's a matter of her being
distaste towards
very
men. That's
disrespectful.
the kind of shit that I don't like. Not
like I don't like
and
that.
You know what? That's fine too. But you know what?
And also being like
go watch my Brie Larson appreciation stream I did back a couple of years ago.
No, but as I
said,
it's like that's what I would actually like to see, because I would actually like to see Captain Marvel versus Thanos in the Power Stone, because she's an energy sink. She can absorb energy, which makes her even more powerful. And I'm wondering, does she have a freaking limit? But then, well, we will get to Captain Marvel not next week.
She doesn't,
but the week after that.
The bestest ever.
Yeah, we will get to that one.
Oh, she is
in 2 weeks.
The bestest ever.
Yeah,
guys, calm down.
She started it.
So next week, I do have one more thing to bring up. Let's see here. We got this coming up.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yep, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Which I actually thought that was pretty decent. I mean, Walt Goggins in that movie is hilarious, and I've just been watching him in the show The Shield.
I like how you did the font and stuff.
I did it, or I tried to get it as close to the movie poster as possible.
It looks good.
Yeah, I like it. It looks good.
So, Endgame in 3 weeks, actually, because we got Ant-Man and the Wasp, then we got Captain Marvel, because this is the full Infinity Saga we're going to do. And yes, as much as I don't particularly like Brie Larson, or Captain Marvel for that matter, I will watch it, and do the stream.
I just don't like this version of the character in general.
There you go. That's fine. So anyway, with that being said, how would you guys rate Infinity War?
Brian, you want to go first?
Ladies first.
Sure. You know what? Honestly, it's like keeps your butt in your seat the entire time. I really love this movie. I think it's probably one of my favorite MCU movies. So probably one of the first ones is like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, actually. But yeah, you know what? I take very little issue with this movie. Obviously, there's a few consistency issues here or there. Probably could have added an extra expositional line to be like, oh yeah, this is how we are like teleporting to the Infinity Stones. But other than that, yeah, this was like great. A couple tear jerkers in there too.
Especially now that you know Groot's last word.
Yeah, thanks for making me cry. No.
You're welcome.
Okay. So yeah, I give this movie very, very close 9.5 out of 10. This is very close to being a 10.
All right. Ambassador?
It's a 10.
All right.
It's a...
And... Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead. It is a 10 because of the performances. It is a 10 because it is not... While it is not a faithful adaptation in total of the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, it is a very well conceived adaptation, considering of all the pieces that they had to leave out due to certain characters not being introduced.
Also, just like sheer scale, right? I mean,
yeah. Okay. Here's the thing, and I'll try and do my best to keep this brief. The Infinity Gauntlet storyline in itself is a culmination in the Marvel comic book universe. It is a huge, massive story, just in and of itself. And to take a story that massive, that dense, and that full of characters, and full of that many events, and having to change certain elements of it, the Russos and the writers, I don't remember if the Russos just directed or if they did write as well. It's been a while since I've looked at the credits for it. to adapt a story that dense down to what was about 2 hours and 40 minutes or so movie was extremely well done. Does it have some issues? I'm sure it does, but you know what? My 10 out of 10 still stands because it's a story that every Marvel fan has read. It's a Marvel story that every Marvel fan knows backwards and forwards because it's such an integral part of the tapestry of the Marvel Universe. This was one of the first big crossovers, except for maybe Super War or any of the X-Men crossovers, for heaven's sake. It's faithful to the source material, even though it had to be adapted. Thanos' mission was different in tone. Even Thanos' betrayal.
He wasn't trying to get pussy.
In a sense, if you want to put it that way, sure. And I won't give you any. I'm not gonna give you any grief for it. Believe me, it is funny because in a sense, the comic book Thanos was deeply, madly, passionately in love with the cosmic entity known as Mistress Death. That's why he did everything he did in the Infinity Gauntlet to get the stones, so that he could sway her to his side. So it's the motive may have been changed, but the portrayal by Josh Brolin, granted, they did use him in mocap a little bit, but his voice performance, that's what really shines through for Thanos. A lot of people have said
he did great in this movie, especially.
Yeah, he was outstanding in both Infinity War and I know we'll get to it in 3 weeks. He was great in Endgame. I won't lie. If in either Secret War or Kang Dynasty they decide to bring him back, I will applaud just as loud as anybody else. Because I would love to see, honestly, what they did with Thanos in Infinity War, the comic, they did turn him in a way into an anti-hero. And it worked. If you want to categorize him as such. But anyway, I've kind of gone on too long. I'm going to let Oren give his thoughts. So, the floor is yours.
From an objective standpoint, meaning I'm deconstructing the movie on its own merit, I would say it's solid 8.5. This movie does have continuity mistakes. It does have editing mistakes. It has a couple of writing choices that I think would not have been well done, or that I do not think are well done, rather. The whole I'm blanking on this dang scene. But anyway, there are a couple of scenes that could have been served a little bit better with change in writing. The scene where Gamora is in the scene but not in the scene because you could see literally Thanos right through her. That is I can't unsee that no matter how many times I've watched this movie. So that is pretty much a very big flaw. So yeah, 8.5 objectively. Subjectively, this is a 9.5. There are a few things that I'm like, okay, I could skip this, and I could skip this. But for the most part, I absolutely love this movie. It is a 10 out of 10 moviegoer where I don't deconstruct. I base it on entertainment value. And I really did enjoy it. So stay tuned for next week, folks. Ant-Man and the Wasp. And then the week after will be Captain Marvel and then Endgame. And for me, tomorrow I will be doing Sharknado 6 for Monday Mayhem.
They did 6?
They did 6 of them. That's
There's
the last
6
one.
movies of Sharknado?
Yeah.
There's 6 Sharknado.
I've covered all 6, or I have covered
Sharknado
the other 5.
movies. Oh, dear. I'm sorry, that's funny.
Tomorrow,
milk,
tomorrow I'll have my last 30-minute Monday Mayhem stream, which will be the Sharknado 6 one. Tuesday, I will begin Tuesday theme streams, which will be Batman 89.
Ooh.
And
what time?
Huh?
What time?
8
time.
Or 1:30.
What time are you doing the Batman 89?
1:30 p.m.
Okay.
On Tuesday.
So
it's the same time as the mystery reviews used to be.
Oh,
I already did my mystery reviews, folks. If you want to see the mystery review playlist, there's 111 of them because one of them didn't count in the playlist because it was at the first Memorial Day one that I did, which was Saving Private Ryan, I do believe. And yeah, but I ended that one out last month, and September is Batman month for me.
Nice.
So I'm doing 2 well-known Batman movies and 2 not so well-known Batman movies. So Batman 89, Dark Knight, Batman versus the Ninja Turtles, and then Son of Batman are going to be the ones that are coming out.
So you're doing 2 live action and 2 animated. Nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
Anyway,
balanced as all things should be.
Indeed. So now I'm going to give the floor to the panelists. Riot, what do you got going on?
Well, I'm Riot Kitty. I'm not called Real Lady Thor on YouTube. This is just for the MCU discussion streams. I got a YouTube channel. I'm going back to school, so content will be on a bit of a slowdown. But if you'd like, my most recent video is a time lapse of my original characters from my comic Dollhouse XC, about a little girl who seemingly goes to another world whenever she falls asleep. So you can check that out if you'd like. That's basically my promotional image for this comic that I technically haven't started yet. So, and then I'm also working on a rewrite of the show Ruby, made by Rooster Teeth Animation, which is under the Warner Brothers umbrella. I'm working on a videos with that as well. So I hope you guys check me out. You can also find me on Twitter for some updates, just me watching anime and just giving my take on some episodes. All that jazz. And with that being said, I'll turn it over to Ambassador. But real quick, RR, yes, Stefan will freaking sucked in both Justice League. And after seeing his comic book counterpart, I hate it even more. All right, now let's go over to Ambassador.
Well, myself, this month is going to be rather eventful. Me and Madam Ambassador are going to be back this Monday and Tuesday night. We switched things up a little bit because I wanted to be on here for this evening. We will be doing our reviews of Hunger Games Catching Fire and Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 and 2 this Monday and Tuesday evening at 8:30 Central Time. Also, every year for my birthday, I do a series of theme streams. This year is going to be Sci-Fi September. Going to be covering some favorite sci-fi films from the modern and what I refer to as the ultra retro era. Going to be discussing the original War of the Worlds from the 1950s, Forbidden Planet, The Day the Earth Stood Still, and Starship Troopers. So, and also working on a few other things for this month and going forward into October. So make sure you follow me on my social medias. That is primarily Twitter, or X if you prefer, at Ambassador Kosh 7, and the Ambassador Kosh on Instagram. So, and of course, check out my channel. I cover movies. I don't do pop culture. I don't do movie news that much anymore because, well, it's just not that interesting. But that's my plug. Go check out my playlists. Go check out my videos. Go check out the channel. And, of course, subscribe. And I want to thank Orange. It's been a while since I've been on here, and I have missed you all. And it's nice to be back amongst friends.
I've missed you, Ambassador.
I missed you too, Riot.
Alrighty. So thank you all for tuning in. RR, Ross Marie coming on at the end. Skyhound, Vanya.
DJ was in here too.
DJ
Sean
Odyssey,
Bird.
Sean Bird,
Mhm.
Sporking News, Becky Browland, and that is all of them. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next one. And y'all are stay tuned for content this week. I'll do my best to get some content out. Anyway, folks, this has been Orange Hat Reviews and the panel of the Hat Crew. Have a wonderful night, and always remember, stay humble.